Tropicana gets its roof torn off, Tropicana Stadium that the Tampa Bay Rays play in. And if you look into it, Tropicana orange juice was created in 1947 at the same time the U.S. military did their first ever experiment on a hurricane. You guys look it up, 1947, first experiment on a hurricane. Bradenton, Florida is where Tropicana orange juice was created. In Bradenton. So you just happen to have Anderson.
I can have non-sexual orgasms within my body, pleasures that I didn't know were possible.
Fuck yeah. There's another short happen.
You deserve that, wrestler.
It's true. You do this.
It's damn near like a rite of passage in this. Oh my god, it's working.
Mandy says that Dolly drifts harder than me. This is fucking unacceptable.
Get cold out, bitch. You don't drift enough.
I really haven't been grifting hard enough. You guys, I just found out I have cancer.
Bank account cancer?
Got cancer in your PP?
I don't know what he clips that. You have cancer.
Alright, but seriously, donate some fucking money just because I might have cancer and just not know about it.
And to be fair, that is untreated, unknown cancer is the worst type of cancer because it's untreated.
Right,
so I think
and unknown.
For untreated cancer people, get out your wallets, open your wallets, open your heart.
I can't believe I have the worst type of cancer there is. This is tragic, I just need some money to
God is so the stillness is so gentle. The silence is powerful. See, because it's through the silence of our listening and our seeking that God reveals the wisdom. The wisdom is realized in the silence from within you. The silence within you is beyond the mind chatter, behind those gossiping and controlling voices that are always around, whether it's in your ears or around. There's voices and gossip and voices and words that want to control you, want to interrupt your peace, interrupt your silence. You choose what you allow.
You choose what you allow. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and post the link because it's going to be a little bit before the nightbot takes place. And for those of you who are coming over from Be Brave, again, I am sorry for the interruption that that happened on that stream. I apologize. I'm about to change my my tagline under my name from Single Mother Enjoyer to Known Liar and Single Mother Enjoyer. It's retarded bullshit. All I'm going to say is, while this is a free speech platform, if you ever cross the line, not just with me, but with anyone, and you talk about things that you know are fucked up, like me losing a child, and then you talk shit about children to me in a way that I know you do, I'm just going to bounce you out, and you're not going to be welcome back on the channel. This is mainly a free speech platform. I just want to say that going in, because I'm going to have a lot of people, including sock accounts, that were messing with me at Be Braves. So you will be bounced out. There, I'm addressing, before we get started on the stream, I'm addressing my own personal drama. For those of you who don't know, I went through hell last year. And that culminated with some people turning against me and us having some beef. There was a miscarriage last year, which led to some other stuff, which ultimately led to what happened earlier this year with her happening. And I don't really like talking about it all, but I had some friends who attacked me, and they said some other stuff And today that was talked about, not due to my own wanting to talk about it, but someone, King Shinard, who likes to come to the channel and start shit, who has been banned for like 2 months. He wanted to start even more shit, and he got his chance because Brave didn't know about everything, and it caused me to snap on him a little bit over in Brave's channel. So now him and his army of sock accounts, or it could be the sock accounts of people that were involved. I don't know. I don't care. I don't mind letting you guys know, but I'm just putting that out there. Anyone's welcome to come on panel. Anyone's welcome to be in chat. But there are lines with myself and other people that I will not allow you to cross over here. And talking about people's family, and then wanting to call them a liar, and then just harass the fuck out of them when that's some serious fucking shit that they've gone through. I will not allow that over here. Flores, I don't really talk about it a lot because so much happened. So much happened to me last year that maybe I should do a stream on it. Maybe I should talk about it a little bit, actually. So last year, I was doing very, very well, right? Last year. And, hey, Halted.
Hello.
And particular individuals helped me find an even better job, move up from where I was working, because I was a manager at a DG. And what's up, Insurgent Shift?
Yo, you hear me well?
Yes, I can hear you well.
All right, cool.
And so some particular individuals, the sock accounts, just like I mentioned, are already arriving.
The stock accounts? Yeah, you mean the trolls?
Yeah. Mods, you can handle that or you can leave them up. It doesn't matter. But last year, and Halted can attest to some of this if he wants to. Last year, when I was a part of that organization, a former friend, helped me find a job that November, about 2 years ago in November. And it helped elevate me, and I got my shit together. And all hell broke loose. And I reconnected with somebody that I cared about a lot. We had off and on done a bunch of stuff. And at that same time, that January, my mom lost her leg due to health complications and almost died and was in the hospital for damn near a month and a half. My brother, for the one thing that he actually didn't do, who wound up getting sent to prison for and is still currently serving in prison. So I was dealing with that, and then I reconnected with that person, and a few months after that, she had gotten pregnant, and I've always wanted to be a father. We lost the baby.
Damn, man.
And then some more horrible shit kept happening. Some more bullshit that is just not want to go. This is just the average shit. And my father wound up passing in September. And then due to all the mental complications and mental stress and anguish, I wound up losing that job. And I got on unemployment. I'm not the person to sit on my laurels and just like not make money and not take care of myself and my family. So like I've been doing everything since then to make money. I work now. I do side hustles now, make a pretty decent chunk of change, fixing stuff for people, mowing lawns. I pretty much own my own business as a contractor, and I'm doing pretty well. But that's just the big stuff that happened. And she passed away in January, as I've mentioned before, and I keep getting called a liar by these same people, this, that, and the third.
Well,
I don't know.
Supposed to start like halfway through the last year, so all this stuff ended up side railing it.
Go ahead, Halton.
Oh, I was just saying all of this stuff that happened ended up side rating the channel. The channel was supposed to like start up middle of last year, but then all of this stuff ended up happening and ended up delaying the channel until this year.
Halted knows more on the business aspect than anybody because he was the guy who made my avatar. We were trying to get it a 3D or at least a 2D model for it, and
it just cost too much money.
It's a lot, yeah.
And this is the sock account. I know who you are. I think I know who you are. You're the only person that calls me Muslim, by the way. Which great slip. Even if I'm wrong, okay, so what? I was wrong one time. Like,
I mean, not all Muslims act like that. Like, I'm Muslim myself, but I don't know. There's some characters on the panel versus just like, bro, what the? I don't even know.
I didn't lie because when Jay did his hit piece on me because he thought I did a hit piece on him, the last time I tried to talk about all this bullshit, Shinard was over in Jay's channel and they tried to put all of my business out there. So I didn't lie. Shinard did know about it.
Well, my question is, why do any of these people fucking care? If they don't like you, why are they here? Why do they care about your drama with Shinard? Who cares?
Because it's not about not liking me. Right? It's the sock account. They want attention. They want this shit to keep going. And
have you
I'm
ever
not
hate
gonna
fucked
keep
a
doing
chick?
it. Yes.
Now just extrapolate from there and you have your answer.
Caloris, I want to think so. I really do. But there's been several things that make me believe what I believe. I'm not going to approach them here because at the end of the day, I don't care and I could be wrong. But, and I will give you an emphasis. When me and Gar were streaming about the Machiavellian, Jay just had to try to call me a man baby in chat. There's this need for these people to want attention. And not let stuff die. It doesn't matter if you leave them alone, because I haven't talked to any of them in months. I haven't talked to Shinard in months. This is why yesterday when Dennison was saying just leave them alone, don't talk to them, it doesn't work.
Yes,
with
it
these
does.
people. No, it doesn't work.
Does.
Well, with my
yes, it does. You're not leaving it alone, buddy. You're doing it wrong.
It's gonna take some time. It's gonna take many months, maybe up to a year, before they fade.
Well,
this is not leaving them alone. Either.
It's just gay ops. It's fucking wanna be fed activity bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, this is
literally dedicating the stream to them right now.
This is but Dennison, this is like 6 fucking months. Almost 6 months of not talking. Well, no, it's been about 3 months of just not talking to them.
I've been on this show how many times? 20, 30. 0 times have I seen any of this. You did something today or yesterday to stir this up. It's on you.
No. This
Guaranteed.
has nothing to do with the other stream. This actually goes to the Machiavelli stream, if anything, if it is connected.
I didn't see shit in the Machiavelli stream.
I started
because it was on Garion's panel. It was on Garion's live stream, and I shared it. It was on Garion's restream. You know how there's different comments from different people?
Right, so essentially, nothing against Garion, but that's how you expose that audience. You rekindled it through his viewers, because all those people are hanging out either in his chat or someone that was restreaming his stream.
Fair enough, but this particular incident happened from the stream I just left, which was not about drama in the slightest.
It was
literally talking about banking.
Whose channel was it?
That would be B Braves.
There's your fucking answer.
Yeah, no, it was Shinard. It wasn't even Be Brave. It was Shinard. Shinard came up on the chat, started talking shit about Ortho into the
Yo,
topic, and
Shinard is
Be Brave
allowed
shut
to.
that down.
Yeah, but he's not hidden at Be Brave.
No, Be
And
Brave.
But Dennison has a point. Dennison has a point here. If you go where these people are allowed and they attack you, and then you allow them to, and then you stay there, it is your own fault. I will give
and
him
you
that.
respond to it, then you're feeding them. You're throwing red meat through the fucking iron bars.
I suppose that's fair, but at the same time, Orthodox didn't really respond. Like, Orthodox had one freak out moment, and then after that was just Be Brave, and Be Brave is the one who.
I don't want you to take this the wrong way. These people aren't pieces of shit because Orthodox is a faggot or a bad person. He's dope. It's not his fault. I'm just saying, when you ignore them, they go away. And when you feed them, they don't. Period. End of story.
Well, that issue is now it becomes, oh, I can't go on Be Brave's channel because I could spark the ire of my ops.
If Be Brave will allow it and cultivate it,
well,
then
Be Brave.
If it's a one-off incident, then it's a one-off incident, and you don't do a stream on it and dedicate the first 20 minutes talking about it. And when you're in chat, you don't highlight their comments and then have a story about it. You mute them, block them, and hide them without anybody saying anything. Nobody even mentions it, and they will fuck off. I promise you.
That is all fair points. We can move on now. It's not worth us arguing or talking about. I just said my piece on it because these people are going to attack me, and I'm going to say my piece on it.
You got
everything else is irrelevant.
You got to think of it this way.
Like, if they keep coming after you and you keep defending yourself, and you're okay with that, I'm okay with it too. I'm just saying, I'm not wrong when I tell you how to do it.
You gotta view it this way. They're your super fans, man. As long as they give you money. Hey,
that's the thing. They don't give you money. They try to take money out of your pockets.
They try to derail your stream. They try to turn your stream into fucking content drama bullshit that no one actually cares about.
And they'll wait to mass report, and they will.
People care about drama, but when it's old drama, no one even fucking knows anything about. It just ruins the stream.
That the people who were the focal points of the drama agreed to slap the shit to the ground and have nothing to do about it. And this same fucking person attacks both people and fucks with both people. Because I could be wrong. That may not be that person's sock account. I think it is based on what they called me, and they're the only person that called me that. But I could very well be wrong, and I probably am wrong. It probably was Shinard because he's good at starting shit. I just have my suspicions for particular reasons, but ultimately Dennison's right, and it's better to ignore these people. So let's get into what this stream is about. Lindsay keeps reaching out to me, so we might do an interview with her later today. But mainly, this is the morning stream. I was going to start it, but I enjoy talking. Gary, and check your Telegram, by the way, because I did message you trying to tell you something a few days ago. But and Be Brave should be coming over, and to Dennison's point, he's right. Be Brave does not allow that bullshit to go on. It was a one-off incident that's kind of spiraled into a bunch of, like, they tried to accuse me of doxing somebody, and the person that they accused me of doxing was literally in chat. I was like, no, he didn't do that. We're cool. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Well, Be Brave was base day. He swept that shit up quick. That was the quick curb.
He would do that. YouTube history. And he would have done that if the roles were reversed too. That's what I like about Brave. Is you may not like his points. You may think he's an evil, racist, retarded old man, but at least he's very principled and a good person at heart.
Well, it was just cathartic for me because I've always bitched about Shinard, and he's the first person who just had no tolerance for that shit.
And the more that I go through this YouTube journey in life in general, I see that people like Be Brave, Dennison, and Dusty are right about most things.
Just to be clear, like this, and I want to submit to you all that this is not a coincidence. I know nothing about any of these events. I hadn't even met Orthodox Guy. I think that we had a brief conversation on Blue Jay's stream when he was under a different name. we talked about politics only because I slightly remember the voice and the attitude. But Shinard has been blocked on every single piece of social media I have for over a year now. So go figure. See how that works?
I don't even know who these people are, honestly. All I
You're
saw was
lucky.
this. Well, I only know Orthodox Guy from NPC's channel. You know, I rock with him. So
and that was a
You're doing
great
it right.
fucking stream. And that was a great stream, by the way.
yeah,
I'm trying to rebuild the relationship with the Machine Lies, but he seems like he does not want that. So fuck him. I'm gonna be real.
just
He'll
let it
be
go.
cool if-
Yeah, just let it go.
I will. He just seems very upset at me. It's
He gets-
unfortunate.
He
Go
gets a
ahead.
lot of attacks on the internet.
Well, I
He's
didn't.
usually
I
pretty chilling, like whatever. So
well, I will say that I did use him as bait. Oh, Be Brave's in the back. Hey, Be Brave, how are you, buddy?
Hey, fine, just fine.
But I didn't. I probably shouldn't have used him as bait. It is completely my fault, and I did start it. I will be 100% honest. But I wanted Tarek to come up there really bad. So I do take responsibility for that. It is not him. He has every right to be angry if he is.
Be brave.
think
You
he's
can keep
probably
a PO
over it
box
by
so I can send you a better mask.
What's
I
that?
hope so. You don't have to be on cam. Oh my God, it's Evil Hank. Or is that just Hank?
What's the difference?
No, hold on, hold on. No, I'm on with my mask, man. That's me.
I could make you a better mask.
Well, I don't know. This
I
ain't
can
bad.
make you styling.
Styling and profiling.
What's going on, fellas?
Doing good. You and Ryan are having a good conversation on the FDIC. I kind of would like to move that a little bit over here before we start watching police footage. And I think you and Dennison, even though y'all may disagree on tactics, I think y'all may actually wind up agreeing on a lot.
Oh, I'm sure we do.
Dennison, are you familiar with Be Brave?
yes.
Oh yeah, I've heard Dennison say things that. What I think my favorite thing he says is I think he says kind of like ain't nobody changing a fucking thing and it's the way it is. Am I wrong, Dennison?
I mean, I see events like the human species and the earth and all of it as one big organism.
Right.
And the cells don't make decisions. So I like to think of myself as an optimist, and I think we're going to be okay, because at the end of the day, when shit's about to hit the fan, that's when humans actually pull their heads out of their ass and work together, and we do it just enough to get by, and then we go right back to fucking each other over again.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I like. Exactly.
Yeah.
In other words, I always say, live your life. We're living like gods. When things change, it's going to be real drastic and it's going to be real different.
Yeah.
Until then, with this world we're in right now, this luxuries, this magnificent lifestyle, and all the bullshit that goes along with it, nobody's doing anything about.
Yeah.
Well, there's a couple nerds doing stuff about, but they don't really get it momentum until things are too bad. So
even Elon doesn't have as much of a say as he'd like to at the end of the day.
No,
right?
he doesn't at all.
But to be honest, when things really hit the fan, when things really hit the fan, they really do hit the fan. I mean, I grew up in the Bosnian War, and man, it was complete brutality. Like, Americans just have no idea what war is.
We don't.
They don't.
Well, we don't have an idea what just everyday living in third world countries is like. We don't even want to even approach considering it.
Yep.
Well, a lot of people don't realize that Dennison and Be Brave, whether they sound like it or not, they actually have a positive outlook for the future. And I think that is very necessary on these YouTube streets and in life in general, because
Often
everything is
overlooked.
typically so negative with everyone.
The way I view it is, people got to ask this question when they wake up: what is your purpose in your life? You know, if they answer that sincerely, then they have no choice but to be positive, or else it's like, what's the point, right?
The curse is I can't tell somebody about their cancer and how to fight it without describing the cancer to them. You know, I
and
can't.
they react negatively to that.
Yeah, I can't be like, oh, well, you have a case of chemotherapy, or you have a case of quitting smoking. You know, I have to say, no, you've got a malignant tumor growing in your lung, and you're gonna fucking die a horrible death unless you do A, B, and C. What are you being so negative for, Dennison? It's just a little cancer, you know.
Well, no, even in regards to the drama that I just went through with the way that you was talking about it, right? A lot of people would take that as you being negative or you being mean or heartless, but no, you're just sticking to the facts, and that's kind of why I like having you on panel, because you stick. It's real, it's raw, it's unfucking cut, and it's good advice, even if people disagree with it.
It starts to border on you arguing with me about networking, you know, like it's one of the few things. I don't know a lot. I am a dumb motherfucker, but there's a few things I've learned. And if one of them is how to deal with internet trolls.
Well, it's always DNS, Dennison.
What is it then, Dennison? What is your top suggestions for networking? Because it might actually be useful, you know, since you got the experience.
Network administration. I should have been more precise.
Yes, which I also have a degree in.
Yeah, so not networking with people. Y'all are a fucking mystery to me. I don't understand any one of you fucking monkeys.
I think in a way it's very simple. It's either can you have a productive conversation with the person and your goals aligned with each other, or do you see the person's character? Usually their character usually shines, and if they start doing backbiting, you know, just talking shit behind your back, then you kind of know who the person is. So
very true.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean it's not useful, right? Still. Yeah, doesn't mean I can't still use them.
That's true. And also, like, I don't want to put out the idea that I've learned everything that's there to be learned and experienced everything there is to be experienced. But I know that I don't need any more internet stalking. I've learned the lessons I need from that. I don't need to argue with angry people about politics on YouTube anymore. I've done that since I was a kid. You know, some things I've had my fill, and I'm perfectly open to learning and new experiences. So, you know, maybe if someone brings an argument that changes my mind, I might listen more. But most of these people are just in a constant mode of defense, and their motive is not to share information or have a conversation, it's to win. And I'm not playing a game, so I'm already out.
That makes one of us.
Thanks, like Gamer Nation, son.
Hey, and you think that's his Sega Genesis, but actually that's how he controls the world.
See, when Hank has the top hat on, that Hank is actually the Illuminati, the Rothschilds, the banking system, the global corporate machine. That is Hank. Be brave. Hank is actually all of the people we talk about when he has the fedora on, and he's manipulating and controlling the world with that controller.
I mean, Hank has a really deep mission. I mean, his mission is to control Snafu, which is just hilarious, you know. Like
Hank, I gotta ask you about that. Like, what does this man hate you so much for?
Oh, he's just a racist. I think.
But I'm racist and I love you to death.
I'm racist too, and I like you. Who's this person?
I'm a culturalist. I hate black culture, but I bet you I could get along with you, sir.
I don't even know what black culture is.
It's something that everybody stays away from, like poison.
Yeah, I think I embarrassed his son, Pussy Paul, for being a fraud, and that's probably why he's still upset with me.
You guys are talking about Paul?
Yeah. Pussy Paul is pretty much Officer Snaps' spiritual son. Paul has an actual father that's like a Dr. L, but he doesn't even hang out on this show anymore. So.
By the way, Dennison, you have a message from Terrorist Kitty.
Terrorist Kitty. Hola, gatito.
Dennison's got a Discord kit and he's a terrorist? What?
We should all be so lucky to have a terroristic Discord, kitten.
Zephyr has an actual terrorist cassette.
I mean, like all I see on my Twitter is basically the resistance against IDF. I mean, those guys are just going in there blowing up tanks, and I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. I love it.
They're taking out tanks now?
Yeah, they're taking out
tanks. Yeah,
tanks.
they've been taking out tanks.
It's incredible. It's incredible, man.
Hey, let me answer Slick Rick here. He says he'd like to see Be Brave over here as a regular guest. The reason I'm not up here as much as I'd like to be is because outside of doing my stream, I just don't have any time for it. And you know what else? If there's a stream that I would come up on, it would be Orthodox's. He would be one of them. It would be John Galtz, Orthodox, and CT. At this point.
Thank you. I feel honored. Thank you. I try to be as open and as honest and as respectful as I can be to everyone, and I try to give everyone a fair shake. How this channel got associated with King Shinard, and it's kind of why I'm very angry at him with the way he treats me, is I tried to give him a fair shake when he was getting accused of being a doxer and all of this in CT's chat. I think that's ultimately why. I'm so angry about it and just say fuck off.
Who cares what Chargers had to say? They don't matter.
Oh, and by the way,
Ortho is really generous for Shinard. I think it was really generous for everyone.
You did ban King Shinard, correct, Orthodox?
It's worth investigating.
Yeah, after you ban somebody, I mean, if I counted the fucking people that would get on my nerves, I'd be crazy. Hell, they all fucking call me all kinds of names. As long as they stay off my stream, that's all it counts to me. Just go away.
Yeah.
I'm interested in what Dennison was saying, though. Yo, what were you saying, Dennison?
Go ahead, Dennison.
If it is stirring something up in you, it's good to investigate why. Right? Just don't do it on the stream because that feeds them. But yeah, do an internal inventory and figure out what's going on there. Why, if that button is really there and they're able to push it, there's value in discovering why.
The issue is that most people don't know how to do that, or they just don't have the maturity to say, look,
I think a lot of people know how to do it. I think a lot of people have too much fun when the button gets pushed.
Yeah. And another thing, most people. I don't think most people do know how to do it because a lot of them are just so similar to each other that they go into a hive mind instead. So there's no need to because everyone's so similar to them.
Conflict is the friend and entertainment for a lot of people.
Right.
And I like a good dose of it myself, but it has to be very, 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 very well organized and very genuine. Yeah,
it's how you handle the conflict. It's not avoiding it,
Yeah.
Because conflict it's just present. It's part of the human experience. So.
It is. I always call a good debate a way to, as for an old man, to get in the ring and box it out without getting hurt.
Yeah.
If a crazy person on the street
it's the same
comes up to you and starts making up stories about you, right?
Right. Yeah, that's when you just ban them and say, okay, fine.
If I did it out on the street, what would you do?
What?
No.
Would you sit there and have a conversation? Would you call your best friends in to have a round table?
Hell yeah, I want to learn more about myself.
No.
I gotta be honest.
A stranger who doesn't know you.
Yeah,
don't know you.
I know.
Comes up to you in real life, and starts making up shit. Not telling you about yourself, making up bullshit.
Yes, I would actually want to know what bullshit they want to make up because I want to know how their perception. I do actually want to know that.
Their perception of what? Of what the voices in their head tell them about a person they don't know? You care
yes,
about
absolutely. I do want it.
So I'm talking to the rest of people who aren't like you.
Yeah, I mean,
those people roll their window up in their car and then they just keep driving on like nothing happened.
Yeah.
That's what those people
I'm kind of in the same boat with Hank here. I like to hear what people say about me because I want to hear my legend. I want to understand what people really think of me, so I can then destroy them with that knowledge later. I don't care because I have such a I don't know, egotistical, self-centered, arrogant bastard nature to myself that nothing anyone says can even come close to hurting my feelings.
Well, it's not a matter of her feelings. It's a matter of why would you want to talk to somebody that thinks that way about you? Not matter.
Well,
I don't know.
I didn't say I talked to him. I like to hear the legend, right? Like I don't know. When people come to me and they say, "Hey, did you hear what so and so said about you?" I'm like, "Tell me, come on."
I get what you're saying, but all I'm saying is, I have no. If you think that about me, it's like, okay, I understand that. That's not a matter of being angry or hurt. It's just a matter of, okay, now I know what you think about me, and bye-bye.
So be brave. You never know who those people are connected to or what they actually know to have a conversation with them. So
after a certain point, it's like, if I don't like you, it's like, I don't like you.
I do.
It's like, I don't like you. It's I don't like you. I don't like you. If I'm ever up here Orthodox and somebody comes up, because you got a lot of people stop by Orthodox's channel. And somebody comes up here and I'm up here and I disappear immediately. Orthodox, I'll be back the next day. It's just that person I don't even want to be in the same room with. It's nothing to it.
If you care about the things that King Shinard has to say, by all means, Hank, follow him all around to YouTube. Knock yourself out.
I don't even know who King Shinard is.
I have him blocked everywhere because he's a liar and a fucking moron.
Oh, now I know who that is. Okay, I got that. The team boom.
And I used to encourage those people because, they help the algo, they engage your chat. They talk more than the people who are listening. But then I realized they detract from the content. Whatever your mission is, they deliberately try to sabotage you. They take the attention of the guests away. And if I can ignore 50 comments you say about me, calling me a pedo and this and that, doesn't mean all my guests can as well, right? So it becomes a problem in order to cultivate a meaningful conversation or to keep a train on the tracks when you've got people constantly throwing couches in front of them.
I got to be honest. That's the one thing I ban people for. If they start going and accusing people of things like, pedo, other things like that, that goes beyond, right? And I don't even want to hear it. There's only one person that's actually been
a serious allegation, though.
I couldn't hear any of that. Give me 1 second. I've only banned one person from my channel, and that was this Just Another Canadian guy, because he was making the nastiest, really, really bad shit up about Andrew, Glenn Lawrence, myself, and a bunch of other people, and and he's the only person I've ever banned off my channel. Everybody else, just bring it on. Just come over, talk shit, but be prepared to get roasted because I'll feed you to the chat.
But there's some lines that people shouldn't cross.
Right. Yeah.
And that's kind of like I agree with them. Those lines. Sometimes they're hard to find, but sometimes they're blatantly fucking obvious. Don't call another, like Be Brave, for instance, right? You can't even call somebody who's not Be Brave gay or use any homoerotic language at all on his panel. He will drop you.
I like that.
Because he's just so disgusted by it and doesn't like. He's like, don't call. I called Shinard a cocksucker and I got dropped and I got told, don't say that. We don't say that around here. It's some of the disgusting thing that you can say to a man. You know what? And I agree with the way that Brave runs his channel. He does keep and maintain order, and he has
somebody. See right here, he got somebody in the chat. Is he trolling me? He says, "Be Brave is gay, though." That's Gary. He follows me around. He follows me around.
It's just a chatter.
He follows me around, calling me a queer.
So just say yes. Why is he going to do it, politics?
Hey, do you mind if I conduct my business my way, sir?
Yes, I do, because you're doing it badly. So
no,
keep doing it badly. Keep doing it badly.
No. Actually,
Hank, I got to drop, man. I got to go.
Here's how this goes. If somebody was in my chat calling another man a queer, because that's a vile accusation, I don't care if I like that person. That person would be out of my chat.
People call me a queer. I don't care. I know what I like.
I don't care.
Yeah, but that's just how Brave conducts himself. What were we saying, Grid?
Oh, I gotta roll, man. I gotta go.
I don't. He has a weakness. I don't have.
Hank. Let grid go.
Yeah, I got to roll out, man. I just wanted to drop by. I saw you were on, so you have a good rest of your morning. Got to go fire up my own gig. So I just was just kind of hanging out before the show and thought I'd drop by. It's really
I appreciate it.
It's an interesting but not interesting conversation just because I don't really know who we're talking about or what was said or any of that. But when it comes around to people talking shit, talking shit's talking shit. So if you can't take a little shit talking in life, you probably need a different career, probably involving a library or something. I don't know. But at any rate, OG, you're cool. Everybody's cool. Actually, there's nobody that I actively know that I dislike on this panel, so that's cool. You guys have a great rest of your day and be cool. Oh, and by the way,
thank you for stopping
the
by.
Talk Studio thing is super easy, man, unless you're trying to do it on your phone. So
I don't know if it just doesn't like my computer because I worked with it when I tried to come on your
it doesn't like
panel.
Brave for the Brave browser. It's best if you open it in Chrome.
Okay,
Yeah.
Next time I try to join your panel, I'll try it in Chrome because I
Sure.
do use Brave, but I had issues with both Brave and Chrome.
Yeah, well, if you need to, just reach out and I'll try and do some tech support and help you out.
All right, thank you.
All right, cool, man. See you.
The way I
That was
see
Grid.
it,
He's awesome. I like having Grid on.
the way I
Go
see
ahead,
it,
go ahead and answer it.
Be Brave has a great point. Every person that has a channel has to control basically how the information is being portrayed in a way. So I agree. Like you should have standards of like you can't just let these idiots come in saying pedo and gay slurs or even up to the point of cursing, because after a while, when you're shit talking too much, you kind of lost the point of like the stream and shit. And it's like they take over.
Like is like real vulgar talk when women are on the panel. I know women are listening.
It's your house. It's your house and your business.
Yes.
But when women are on the panel, it's like, come on, let's keep it more clinical. We're talking about sex. Keep it clinical. It's very easy to do. Just stuff like I always say. It's my stream is at the kitchen table, and that kitchen table is in a church kitchen. That doesn't mean that we're perfect, but it means
I'll be honest with you, Brave. Like when I'm going to start my new channel, which I'm starting now, I'm probably not going to have any women on the panel because of this notion. It's just too much bullshit. When they come on the panel, it's just like all the attention is on them. And really what I noticed, men in general can have serious conversations without like all this bullshit coming around, And plus I'm married, so I don't want like this fucking crap on my fucking stream. So
Men aren't men anymore, though. They act like a bunch of little women.
I agree, Denizen. I mean, I don't. If just Red don't like my chat, I'll just use the YouTube thing to control the words. I just don't allow the words. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, I like to think women come to my panel because they're part of the conversation, not like, it's not like an OnlyFans session.
Hello, Oxycat. Oxycat. Women like Oxycat come to my panel to challenge me to things like archery, so they will ultimately be beaten.
Do you have like an archery video game you can play together where you could just show her up?
No, real life archery.
Oh, so do you live close to each other so you can actually measure? Or you just take a picture of the target? You could just do detect.
Just take a picture of the target. I'm gonna do an archery video because my chat helped me reach my goals. I got a new bow and an archery target, so I'm gonna make them an archery video.
That's awesome.
Nah, you're a dork.
So do you both have to record you shooting so you don't just stab the target with the arrow and say, hey, I won? Is that how it works?
No, it's I'm mainly just joking with her. I'm gonna do an archery video separate of if she wants to show me up or not. Y'all don't know, but Oxycat is like is a very scary and dangerous woman. She has an entire trophy room of where she's hunted animals with various weapons, including bows.
Damn.
That's a dangerous person right there.
Yeah. She is, and with all terms of respect, a beast.
So anyway, but Orthodox. You know, I always want you on my channel, but obviously when I come over here, I'm going to have people calling me a queer, so you probably won't see me over here. It's okay.
That is fair, but you are always welcome. I
know that,
and I will ask this because I don't like to time people out. But Be Brave did me this kindness, and he does it for everyone. I will ask that that people refrain from insulting Brave by especially calling him a queer.
Yeah, you can call me a dumbass, loser, bottom feeder.
Don't call Be Brave a queer. Call me a queer because I'm a man. I can take your stupid words.
Now, you see why I come down where I come down, right? Because I have Hank's attitude, but I respect panelists like Brave. And this is why that shit, there's zero tolerance on my channel. If I see as soon as someone says Brave is queer, they're hidden. And no one's even going to hear about it. It's not going to be brought up. I'm not going to explain myself. They're just going to be giggity gone.
And that's the difference between me
all I ask is just for that day. I'm not asking to ban anybody. Just for that moment.
You just said that you got a ban list for words in your chat.
Yes, and that's the difference between Denizen and I, because I don't want fragile cupcakes around me. I don't really. They're not good people.
It has nothing to do with fragility.
It has nothing to do with fragility.
It has nothing to do with being fragile. It's just a horrible, filthy thing to say about another man, Hank.
Yeah, I've never been judged by anybody on these YouTube streets that I think could last a fucking day in my shoes. I don't in any way feel fragile or like something hurts my feelings. I just want to cultivate the type of environment where people come to share ideas and not to jerk themselves off and throw it at strangers.
Yeah.
I don't like fucking assholes, and people who hang around in places where they don't like the people on the panel are assholes. Like this guy, for example. He is a perfect example. Every single one of his comments is hateful towards the topic or one of the panelists. It's all he ever does. And that, to me, tells me what kind of person he is. I don't need to fucking, give him an interview or find out what his motivations are. He comes online to be a cocksucker and to be hateful. Fuck that guy. Get out of my life.
If he's here to suck cock, I got one available for him.
Look, I'm not gay, right? It ain't gay if it's a certain dominance, all right, Wicked. I know you wouldn't suck a dick, but you'd hold one in your mouth if the swelling went down.
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't the chat realize, like, look at Brave's guns right there. He could blow a motherfucker off, you know?
More guns in the collection.
What's behind the door, Brave? What's behind the door?
It's a 6 foot long front porch, or a 6 foot wide by 24 foot long front porch. It's a weird little house, and I don't use.
What's out there that you keep out with a board?
Hold it. Do you see my bed there?
Yeah,
I see your bed. Yeah.
This is my bedroom. I'm not going to have a door by the head of my bed. That's feng shui nonsense. Right.
See, you should have made up a story about like some Wendigo or something out there.
Yeah, no. It's just I just don't use that door, and I use this. And this is the move that I made.
And by the way, for those people out there who are thinking about doing what they're probably thinking about doing, it is completely within TOS to have firearms, bows, and knives as decorations around your house. He cannot, and Brave has never done this, he cannot go and pick one up and wave it around on stream.
No, better not. Don't touch a gun. That's the rule.
Yeah.
But there's no rule against waving a camera around, though. So it's no rule against cameras.
It's just 3D printing. It's just 3D printing.
Denizen, what is your channel? What do you talk about over there?
Discussion, not debate, about ideas, not people. That's what.
Yes, thank you very much. That's another reason why I don't let name calling get out of hand. We're talking about ideas. You can slice an idea to pieces. Leave the person alone.
So, I got an idea for you, Denizen. What do you think of the situation with the U.S. and Iran? Do you think it's going to get worse, or do you think this peace deal is bullshit?
It's a show.
Yeah, like this is Iran part 4 for me, you know? And Be Brave's a little bit older. Maybe he's part 5 or part 6.
Yeah.
I do, I remember the day when it happened. The people here on this panel whom I respect and who actually know their history and pay attention to world events and are intelligent and smart, they were reacting a certain type of way simply because of their youth, because this is the most escalation they've ever seen. And for me, it's just another Tuesday.
Yeah. What
I
I've
feel
seen
personally attacked.
when I saw the markets didn't react, because I take a look at them, like oil didn't go up, I was just like, yeah, this is kind of for show. But at the same time, I think, like, you know, knowing Trump and knowing like the Ayatollah, man, they want like ground troops in Iran, and Iran is like, they're Shia, right? So they're all about martyrism and stuff. They're ready to fight to the death. They think of them as like the great enemy. Yeah.
The United States has.
I got to get going, but let me give my 2 cents on it right quick. These figures that are at the head of these countries, they're in the back room backslapping each other, laughing at peasants for killing each other. That's what this is about. And they align the region of the resources of the planet's resources accordingly how it's needed. These people are not the shot. Trump is not a shot caller, nor is the head of Iran. It's just all a big goddamn show to make sure that peasants never feel harmony in spirit, because that's when you really start thinking about a lot of real things. They want us stupid and running around like chickens with our heads cut off. You do that with a lot of little fake wars. The only problem with the little fake wars is a whole lot of humans really get their bodies blown to pieces.
Yeah.
That's the shame of it, because it's all a goddamn show. Ain't nothing happening in Iran. And what happens, you seen Syria. In Syria, Al-Qaeda, who used to be our enemy, is now their friend and running Syria. It's just
crazy.
Yeah, just hold on to your hats and you'll see that it's all bullshit. That's why I say, live your life like a god, because we're living like gods. It's all bullshit. I don't know for how much longer it's going to last. I could see it lasting another 30 years or 40 years, but it may not last for another 5. Yeah. When they decide to end this show, we're going to be in big trouble. But I'm going to get going, Orthodox.
You have a good one. Thank you for coming by, Brave. I appreciate it. You are always welcome.
Peace.
And when I stop by, I don't want you to ever get upset if I just bail out immediately. It has nothing to do with you. I'm just saying, hey, not today. They're over there bugging me. Denizen, that your channel. What's your channel, Denizen? I like your rule.
At Denizen-X.
Oh, very good. Halted, you're starting one too. No, I'm not against stopping in on people's channel. You guys, I like what I heard from you fellas today. So. And I've always liked Orthodox, but we will see you folks later, by golly.
Peace.
Peace.
Trying to find my cursor. See ya.
You can't. You can't trust what you're told by these governments about.
Absolutely.
Right. That being said, the agenda has been publicized. For
I think it's like
about
an
60 years going back, and as well as with the new project, the Project for a New American Century.
I appreciate it, Gar.
So
it
here's the
lays
thing.
out the plan to encircle China militarily and to cut off Europe from Russian oil, and to use the Middle East to do so. It's the same playbook that Britain and the United States have been doing for the last 100 years. Way back when British Petroleum, or BP as it's known now, Beyond Petroleum, was called the Anglo-Persian Oil Company. Same exact company, same playbook. And right now, Israel is a United States outpost in the Middle East, and we're using
I agree with that. Yeah.
To perturb Iran's influence over the region, because if Iran becomes a regional power, that's going to mess with our military and economic agendas.
Yes.
So we destabilize the Middle East, use the Jews. Everybody blames the Jews for everything, so everybody thinks it's the Jews using us, when really it's still the British Crown doing the same shit they've always been doing. And at the end of the day, when the greater Israel is around the corner, America will switch sides and side with the Ayatollahs and the Shahs against the Jews. just to keep the destabilization going.
It's including the religious element, because you not only got the Zionists, you got the Christian Zionists that wants to side with Israel, calling the Holy Land. They need the Jews that are comfortable living all throughout the world to come to Israel so they can have their Messiah come. You know, and it's kind of
that's how you see it play out. Is the Zionism aspect of it?
Yeah,
is the political aspect of this otherwise, like Brave says, agenda between men in a room just faking all this shit so that they can keep us, they can just keep stealing all of the resources. Like the Pareto distribution of resources in this world is obscene. It's an obscenity how much resources go to the top 1%.
Yeah, so I know 1%. Yeah, so I know what the old agenda is. Let's table it. The new agenda is the fact that our contractors are ripping us off. The military is getting ripped off by our own contractors, not giving us the schematics or the codes to operate the equipment we bought. So the new agenda is that we get control over our stuff back so we can blow up brown people.
Well, the way I see it, it's also man, I forgot my point right here. But there was one imam, basically a religious figure in Islam. Basically, he said there were three empires: the Pax Britannica, Pax Americana, and now it's just the start. They want to start the Pax Judaica, Greater Israel Project. And Iran is in a very strategic point in the world, right? Because you got the Strait of Hormuz. You got the oil right there. They don't want Iran to have a nuclear weapon because then it'll be a deterrent, essentially. They only want Israel to have the nuclear weapon. And they have never been inspected by anybody, right? Nobody, right? Nobody even dare question that.
But why is it okay for India and Pakistan to have nuclear weapons then? They're right in that area.
I mean, let's be fair. If the United States could have its way, no one but the United States would have nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
But what nukes let you do is sit at the big boy table. You remember when you were a kid at Thanksgiving and all the kids had to sit at the little table?
Yeah.
That's what it is. When you have nukes, you get to sit at the big boy table and you get to make actual decisions about your country's future because you have leverage.
We haven't been using nukes. But just make some other different way. Maybe we haven't had giant fighting robots. That was probably
it's more of like acting like a hegemon, because they're not gonna, in my opinion, they're not going to use them, because what's the point of ruling a country or ruling the world if the land is like nuked and radiated and you can't even like control the peasants on it? Like, and I think with Russia, you know, Putin's just waiting his time. You know, he made that pact with North Korea. Imagine if the U.S., and this is just a hypothetical, imagine the U.S. gets so pissed off, there's a false flag, they send ground troops, and then Putin is like, hey, North Korea, do something about South Korea. U.S. is going to be stretched, even though they got the world's largest military, strongest military in the world. There's no question about it. But the problem is with America, over time, over decades, what made them great was they were the biggest manufacturing base in the world. They were able to they had a lot of troops. They still have a lot of troops, but the problem is now they rely on special ops, special forces now, and air diplomacy, you know, air supremacy, right? Yeah. But that doesn't really help against a country like Iran, because they got mountainous terrain. And say if they invade it, like that would be a huge mistake. It would be kind of like Afghanistan 3.0, in my opinion, because imagine you'd airdrop your soldiers, right? Well, the problem is Iran has the fourth largest military in that region. They're waiting their time right there. Like, how are you going to resupply your troops thousands and thousands of miles away? They could entrap the U.S. troops, and even though Iranians will probably get blown to smithereens for maybe the first 3 weeks, eventually they could lose the war. Like, and in a way, Israel will be like, hey, we don't care about the America. They have shown that. We don't care about Iran. Let them blow each other up and let us become the hegemon.
Just conquer them economically. Allow travel there, send the tourists there. They'll take it over in 25 years just by buying it, the whole thing up. Obvious.
Well, Iran won't allow that.
They used to allow it.
That's the one thing. And then what did we do?
We put in a dictator that didn't like us.
Exactly. We kicked out Mossadegh because he wanted to nationalize the oil, and then we put in the Shah, who caused the Iranian Revolution with his tyranny and bullshit, and now we have the Ayatollahs.
Yeah. I mean, Jack Law put a point right here. He said, do you understand the size? Yes. Yes, they do. But the problem is, do the Americans have the will to fight to the death against basically people that think they're going to heaven when they get killed?
I don't think we fight wars like that anymore.
No. We'll lose this one like Vietnam.
We're just gonna keep giving F-35s to Israel and Jordan, and that's it. And they just keep bombing and bombing and bombing and bombing and bombing.
Which is a total waste of money. We might as well just try to sneak pivot in and try to conquer them economically.
I wouldn't be surprised if they're building a nuclear weapon at this point. I mean, if you're Iran, I'd be like, why not? Because look, they have violated everything. Iran didn't do jack shit. Yeah.
They got caught enriching uranium well past the need for power and almost military use. Here's the thing. If this were about empire, you'd have less argument from me. If the United States had an agenda to win and went in there and actually turned the place into a parking lot and put up Pizza Huts, we wouldn't be talking about this anymore. Instead, we have a leech on society, which is the military-industrial complex that sucks all of the wealth, joy, happiness, and pleasure out of life into a fucking black hole of nothingness, never to be seen or heard from again, including our money. So there's no reason to win, right? The wars are never supposed to end. They're supposed to go on.
It's profitable.
Forever.
Yeah, it's profitable.
And the U.S.
It's
wasn't
profitable and also bankrupt your enemies while you're at it.
Yeah.
Yes, and the U.S. wasn't even willing to flex and say, "Oh, you want nukes, Iran? Here's some tactical nukes." We weren't even willing to do that.
Right. Exactly. We didn't even use a fucking fuel bomb on their fucking bullshit. Like, and then so supposedly the bunker busters did a lot more damage than we could see because the damage was underground. So let's assume that's correct. Yeah. Everybody's been shitting on that and saying it's a fairy tale because everything above ground looks fine. Well, we have bombs that literally will explode in the air and turn the entire fucking thing into sand and glass. That's how you that's empire, right? That's how you blow up a motherfucker. This is business that we're looking at. This is oil business.
I mean, if you look at Iran's response, they called the U.S. like hours before. Hey, we're going to bomb your base. Just send your soldiers away. And it's going to be a weak response. That Iran is like, in my opinion, I think they just want ground troops to enter Iran. And they want to fight to the death. They really hate America and Israel and all that.
I could never underestimate American stupidity when it comes to the president. So I suppose it's possible. But man, that seems like I don't know of a Secretary of Defense who's been dumb enough to suggest that we should go back to using troops to fight wars. We got drones and satellites.
You never underestimate Trump and his stupidity because he doesn't give a shit, in my opinion, about people in general. He cares about looking good on TV.
Okay, then Trump should challenge him to a martial arts tournament then. If we gotta use the ground troops, we use them efficiently.
That's a deterrent for him to invade because he cares about how he looks.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's an egomaniac. Like he's the example of basically, he's the guy that wants to spew hatred. Like you got the left that absolutely hate him, right? And you got the right that views him as a messiah. You got the perfect breeding ground for polarization and for a war to, a real war to happen. So, and also a civil war. Like they passed with the big, beautiful bill, so much power to ICE. I mean, I do agree, like you should control the border of your country. Absolutely. You don't let hooligans and like people with criminal records to come in. But this is just giving like tremendous power, militarization of the police force, all that. Like in New York, for example, we still got the state guard, AK-47s like controlling the subway and shit. That's not a healthy society, man. It's not a healthy society whatsoever.
No, we're fucked. It's only going to get worse too.
Well, that's why we should make sure we educate the public of video games so they can tell the difference between a successful airdrop and just just fluff.
Look at our revolution. We stormed the Capitol and then left. And then we put in Trump as our revolutionary president. I mean, America's fucked.
I mean,
we couldn't even elect Ron Paul.
Yeah, I know. It's I mean, I think the last one I heard it from an old timer, said Ross Perot actually had a good message where remove NAFTA, you know, bring the jobs back, bring the manufacturing base back, bring, America can't even fix their healthcare system. It's just so fucking broken. It's ridiculous, man. People, like, the number one cause of bankruptcy, even with people with insurance, is medical bills. That should not happen to the most richest country in the world. What the fuck, man?
Yeah, well, that's easy to fix. We actually turn healthcare into an actual market. I mean, state line competition and actual bills rather than go through the insurance contract and figure out kind of, well, this maybe costs this much. That's all you need to do.
I mean,
yeah, nobody even knows what they're paying.
You need, like, in some aspects, you do need the government to stop, like, massive fraud and shit, like jacking up outrageous prices on albuterol, diabetes medications, and all that shit. But you got to allow some innovation. Like, there got to be like a middle way, right? Where I think
the American way would be to allow competition between private forces while having a robust social safety net.
Yeah. Yeah.
We can start by legalizing all drugs.
Because if the government ends up doing it better, I mean, so be it.
In some aspects of the government, they're good for, like, big social projects, like fixing the roads and all that, but when it comes to, like, innovation and stuff, obviously not, right? There needs to be, like, a healthy balance. Like, you got capitalism, but you got, like, regulations to stop fraud and corruption and stuff like that. But that's like a pipe dream. America's, like, been long gone since the 2009 crisis.
I think by the time we have the people necessary to have good government will no longer be necessary.
Yeah, there was one guy, Orthodox, that his channel is called Predictive History. Now, his viewpoint, he's from China, right? So there's some CCP propaganda in there, but basically he views it as the war of Iran will be a tipping point, and eventually there could be a civil war in America. And basically the end result is that America, what was the founding principle of America? They were a Christian nation, right? The Puritans believed that the Bible had more authority than the King of England, right? So the King of England was just like, okay, just go to America. There's nobody there. You could establish your rule there. That was the founding principle. Besides spreading democracy, their illusion democracy, right? And it could turn into a Christian theocracy. Like you said, like the government, eventually they could just strip all of this crap, and basically a civil war could happen. Because look how much, like, ICE is getting so much power, right? Everything is turning militarized. We got special forces, right? Like a lot of special forces, and they don't respond to the U.S. government, U.S. military, right? They could do whatever the fuck they want. Like, look what they did to Mexico, right? They're training the cartel how to use drones to blow up their enemies. It's craziness, man.
We even pick sides in the cartel wars, lol.
Yeah, it's kind of scary. It's kind of like Civilization 5 playing in real life.
Are we allowed to stop like a billboard market thing? So, who we bet on? Who are you gonna bet on? And take things and just be the bookie for that.
I think it's just gonna be like kind of a long dragged thing. And nothing happens like right away. It's gonna be slow and deliberate, and you need the public. Like influenced in a way to agree to any type of war, right? And I think it's just part of the escalation ladder. I think this peace thing is all bullshit. So
definitions change over time too. Like,
yeah.
What war looks like is not going to be the same thing. One could argue we're in the middle of a civil war right now.
Mm-hmm. What's preventing, like, say if Trump runs a third term, right? Now, I'm not saying he runs as president, but what if this is a hypothetical scenario. What if
he does the Supreme Court?
What if his son runs and he's the vice president? There's no limit for him to run the vice president, right? Because
he won't be able to be a valid president after the second term, so cannot be the vice president either.
Really? Is that true?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
But he could appoint himself to the Supreme Court. That's totally legal, except the fact they probably want to prove him.
But imagine if he does, somehow he's able to do it, right? Because Trump wants to be in office so he cannot be like sued and prosecuted and all this stuff, right? His fan base will be like, oh, he's still the president. His son is just listening to him, that type of stuff. That could cause, the blue states, which absolutely hate him, right? And I'm not blue or I'm not Democrat or Republican. I'm just an observer, I like to be just viewing both sides and just seeing what they do. And both of them are kind of the same show. What if, like, New York, California, they run as independent states? They want to try to cede away from the nation. That could cause it,
I think, again, if you change definitions, all of this is already happening. Our country is already experiencing vast lawlessness. It's operated politically. The police look just like the gangs. The judges openly admit that they rule on their feelings and in disregard for the law. They say it openly now. We got 51% is what determines governors, Congress, state Congresses, the actual Congress, the federal Congress, presidential elections, right? Like this split down the American psyche. The American psyche is already having a civil war with itself. That's for sure.
Yeah, I just don't see like a good solution. Unless there's a complete overhaul and they remove the lobbyists. Obviously there's one lobby that's has complete control of American politics, or that every politician is like almost pretty much bought off, right? Unless they remove that, I just don't see a solution. Is this how it is?
Understandable.
Yeah.
Who is the lobby? No, let's not get into that.
I mean, we could. I mean, one of the guys that wrote a book on it was John Mearsheimer, and he's a Jew, right? And basically, he wrote about the lobby. He wrote about how powerful they were, but that was like about 10, 15 years ago. And he's just saying that it's an apartheid state, Israel. Like, so, I mean, who, if you were a Jew,
Muslims
like, why would
Supreme
you?
Court.
Muslims in the Supreme Court, really?
Yeah, in Israel. How the
wow.
fuck is it? And like I hear about this genocide. It's the worst, most ineffective genocide in the history of all of mankind. There went from being like a couple 100,000 Palestinians to millions.
Yeah, it's absolutely criminal for any Muslim to really side with the apartheid state. Like, I'm a Bosnian Muslim, and I definitely do not side with it. But you got Saudi Arabia, the Wahhabists, right? Basically, they are just they even persecute Muslims, the people that they don't agree in there certain types of like what we call like oneness of God, right, or something like that. They wanted to destroy the Ottoman Empire, and that's what basically they did. That was the last caliphate that we had, the Ottoman Empire, 800-year rule. And it got infiltrated, it got turned out, and England had to play with it. And the Saudi, it used to be called like the Arabian Peninsula, not Saudi Arabia, right? And I think in a way they're trying to play chess where, like, if they bring out the Messiah, then we will bring, essentially our Imam is going to come, the Mahdi is going to come, that Jesus is going to slay the Antichrist. They're trying to play the long game. But I mean, the way I view it is that why are you trying to provoke the messianic age? That's like complete hypocrisy. Like, in my opinion, only God could bring it, you know, but that's just another viewpoint.
Kind of checked out for a little bit. I'm sorry, gentlemen.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
That early morning mental strain did it. But I am coming back around to it. I had some breakfast. So do y'all want to get into the web? Do y'all want to get into? I think this is Dennis's favorite part. Y'all want to get into the police footage?
Let's check it out.
Y'all talk amongst yourselves while I find this one. And let me before I do that, let me address this. Tarek, I don't take. There are very few things that I take seriously or that I really care about. I'm not worried about me and your arguments, or you or Lindsay or Dusty or any of that stuff. I do want to interview her to give her the chance to get her piece out. And like I said in the title, it's the potential Lindsay interview. Anybody who knows her, if y'all want to reach out to her and let her know that I'm game to do that sometime, the stream. But I'm here to review police footage now, and I'm not gonna really stop doing that for at least a little bit until I get back on my bearings. So I got one pulled. Damn. Sorry, I saw a big titty blonde woman on my feed. They said something about Japanese, and I'm like, oh, well, goddamn, okay, they're evolving. Even.
Goddamn.
Goddamn. Listen, do you want to watch a Karen get what they deserve from the police, or do you want to watch where we can absolutely just hate the police for no reason?
I would like neither. I would like one where everybody honestly thinks the police did a good job. I challenge you to find an example of the cops doing a good job.
Challenge accepted.
All right. Let's see with this one. This one looks like somebody committing actual disorderly conduct and not being removed from a place where they were asked to leave.
It can't be done.
It can't. You know it can't be done. Why do you issue me these Herculean challenges?
What are you gonna do, you dumb fuck?
I already agree with her.
God damn.
Damn.
Hold on, we got another one. Gotta go, hon. You tried to walk past them. They're not letting you in. Have a nice night. We're going on back. Don't touch me. There you go.
Yo, El Perro has a good idea. How about a video on family court issues and the corruption being exposed there? El Perro, I'm not familiar on the topic.
Me neither.
So if you want to come on and you want to discuss it and you got any videos, man, I am all for it.
Oh, I'm familiar
with
with
the topic. If you can direct it a little.
Yeah, I watched what called Terrifying Monkey for years. That's all they talked about pretty much there.
Oh, TFM? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I was on this show a couple of times, like, guess.
Ortho, that guy, he was part of the he's the MGTOW crowd, basically. But the thing about him, he sells sex dolls, and he has a sex doll. He's married to it. It's called Celestina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who?
Don't unpause this, by the way.
The TFM, Turd Flinging Monkey. He got banned off of YouTube a long time ago, but basically the guy has been so warped on women that he married a doll. His doll's name is Celestina.
Yeah, he's on other platforms, so you can still watch him on Odyssey.
What's up, El Perro? How you doing, buddy?
Greetings. Yeah, I think one of the things most people miss is that all of this drama and stuff that we have is adult victims start out in childhood.
Yeah.
This family court situation has been the disruptor of everything in family life for decades. How do I know? I'm damn near 60 years old. Went through the foster care system with 5 brothers and sisters. Out of my mom and dad's family, my dad had 13 brothers and sisters. My mom had 7. How did we end up in the foster care system?
Damn. Yeah, that is a question. That's why I promote, instead of the, let me get it right, the nuclear family, I promote the extended family.
Correct.
Crazy.
Same here.
By the way,
family is radioactive.
Gene Seed has a question about the guy and his doll. Are they in an open relationship?
No. He's completely with the doll.
He's got contract rights. Yeah, he's got buyer rights with the doll.
This is an interesting. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I was just saying there's a link to what I'd like to review in the chat. Just
real quick
that's what you
before you change this frame. I like this frame, and I just want to denizen on this a little bit. So this to me is a perfect example of what's wrong with the police from the perspective of someone who supports law and order. This chick's got a smile on her face. Okay. She's deliberately trying to escalate the situation, right? The problem is that I don't pay her to de-escalate situations. The guy with the "I'm gonna murder your children and kick in your door and burn down your house" tattoo on his forearm, I pay him. He's got the black police flag on his garbed vest. I pay him to de-escalate situations, protect the public safety, and to protect people and their civil rights. And look what they're doing to her arm right now. So did she start it? Yes. She escalating it deliberately? Absolutely. Is she drunk out of her mind? Yes. But look at the way they go immediately to force and the way they use force. It's as much as I can possibly get away with at any given time. Look at her arm, man. Like, seriously. This is someone's little drunk, bratty child. Brutality does not solve a society's problems. So, shout out to El Bumpkino.
Yeah, and I guarantee you they wouldn't handle their own child like that. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, they would.
Right.
Shout out to El Bumpkino. Shout out to El Bumpkino.
You gotta thank the Wall Street corporations, right? Because they wanted women to have basically to leave the family unit, right, and to have a job. But who's raising the kids? Nannies or whatever, having less children, having the TV basically can raise them and stuff. It's just, and obviously the TV, with all the programming, accepting all the ridiculous shit that's happening, disrespecting your parents and all that. It's not very healthy for society. So
yeah. Today we have for parents, instead of having parents are out working, so we have devices, TVs, and nannies and teachers, and they're all abusive. Because if you're not going to be supervising the devices and the TV, they're going to get abuse from people they don't know and not even realize it's abusive. And then the people that are in their life, the teachers and nannies, mom and dad aren't there to tell them that what the nanny is doing is right or wrong.
Yeah.
Same thing with this. The whole society doesn't teach anybody right from wrong. They teach you to remember this and you'll be okay. Well, I think the best thing is that if you're doing things in earnest, then things just have a funny way of working out. You don't really need the knowledge.
We can't teach people right for long because we don't even know how many laws there are on the books that they're supposed to follow. It's just not even a thing we can do.
Those aren't right and wrongs. Those are remember this, because we're indoctrinating you into a box. And over the decades, the boxes keep getting smaller and smaller, and people think they have greater and greater freedoms. How funny is that?
Yep. Well, the freedoms are being lessened and lessened away. You got the government, basically Trump signing with Palantir to spy on all of our bank accounts even more. And it's just building this new AI age where They want to build that credit score, the social credit score, kind of like they look at China. They look at their system. They want to try to implement that. They kind of have that already with social media because people rat on themselves, right? Well, before they were used to keep private about certain things, but eventually they want to monopolize it and view it like put carbon credits and like not allow you to eat meat and eat like roaches and shit. So
no, I don't. If they're implementing that system, they're not doing it well because there's people making terroristic threats that's pulled off the web. But so they're not doing a good job if they are doing that system.
yeah, well, they want to implement it slowly. If they do it off the bat, then it's going to cause a lot of people to get pissed off. But slowly over time with propaganda, it's going to wear down people's psyche, the ones that are just not well informed, right? Which is like pretty much the masses, 90%, 95% of them. So
I'm just saying, if you're going to do a job at all, might as well do it right.
I gotta let the dog out, so I'm gonna play this video, and then when this video is done, we're going to move on to El Perro's topic.
I'll call the cops on you, you idiot. I am a cop. Yeah, you can let go. I got both. Use the power, you idiot. Got a grip. Really? Yes, sir.
He did. He got a grip of that arm.
Don't touch me. Please let go, man. I don't want you to
He really doesn't have anything better to do.
Right now, you're my responsibility. Yeah, I think you're gross. I'm okay with that.
5'1" has a female once.
All of you are gross. So you guys have better stuff to do?
Stand by.
No? Nothing better to do?
6'5" has a 41.
Nothing better to do?
I'll be coming to headquarters.
Nothing better to do?
Should be nothing
I'm
better.
not getting in unless I have to.
You have to get in, hon. Stop. Right? You're just gonna get another charge.
I don't care.
It's not worth
Let's spray me. I don't care.
It's not worth it.
I don't care. I'm not getting in.
Then spray me.
No. You idiot.
If you get her feet back in on the
You idiot. Free money. Get a girl. No.
Watch kick. Got her. Okay, well, they're going to get off of you when we get to headquarters, okay? So just relax.
Wait, somebody's... Oh, the handcuffs.
5'1" Belmar.
Do not take me to the police station.
13838. You cannot right now. You're under arrest.
Craziness.
Not right now.
Please.
No.
Sir.
I'm just your transport.
I bet you
We're
are.
about to be out. It's only like a quarter mile away. Hey, Jen, just breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. You can't. You're under arrest. Would you like me to open the window for you? Jen, in through your nose and out of your mouth. You can't right now. You can't right now. You're fine. Just in. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, this is all recorded, just so you know.
I don't give a fuck.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna get you out in literally 30 seconds.
Shut the fuck up, you dog.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about you, idiot.
All right.
That was quite the anxiety attack.
Yeah, wait, what did I miss?
That was quite the. That was.
I think you missed the anxiety attack.
Yeah, the anxiety attack that lasted for 15 seconds, and then
the
just got
top of
angry
her
again.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That is wild. All right, well, let's continue going. I will not make you guys relive it just because I missed it.
Okay. Yep.
Please call my friends.
Not right now.
How am I supposed to do that?
You can later
When delivered?
when you're released. We're just going right over here. Right up this way. Well, unfortunately, I have to.
I don't want you to touch it.
Too bad. Come in here. Stop, please.
No. Fucking idiot, don't touch me. I don't want to touch.
Then walk.
As the resident sadist on panel and brat breaker, I thoroughly enjoyed that no. It's like, oh, okay. I know how to handle this situation.
On your own. I just have to get your purse off, okay?
Yeah, but it's not prudent unless you give her some dick afterward. You know what I'm saying? Like, to just brutalize her and throw her in a cage is inhumane.
Well, see, it's my belief that every cop ever should be able to just sling dick to anybody they arrest that wants it, you know?
I mean, I just don't understand to act out like this insanity. This take it easy, chill out, you know,
She's
get
probably
a lawyer.
drunk.
Yeah, just take it easy, man.
Or mentally ill.
Spoiled. Well, she's probably spoiled.
Yeah. It's like, this is not how you react when you get arrested, right? Remain calm, get a lawyer, chill out. You know, just...
But she wanted to go to the club! She wanted to go to the club!
I mean...
Woo!
I mean, the clubs are just a giant Ponzi scheme. It's like, it's just incredible people waste their time in those places.
What's that to me, idiot?
She's attracted to him, by the way. I'm just gonna let you know that.
Well,
right
this is
now.
foreplay.
Yeah.
Foreplay.
I dated this chick.
Yes.
Can I go home?
Nope.
Can I go home?
I'm gonna tell you how stupid I was. I managed to get her out of my life, and I let her back in again.
Ouch.
I feel you on a spiritual level.
But I'm gonna tell you though, it's like a porn star. When they're that crazy, the pussy is like.
Look,
there's a rule.
I wouldn't know.
It's inexplicable. It's unexplainable.
Never stick your dick in crazy. Never.
Oh no, sir.
Too late, sir. Too late.
Smooth seas never made experienced sailors. Grippy socks, grippy box. Give the crazy bitch a chance.
Take a seat and take a breath. Okay.
I heard angels.
Okay. Well,
absolutely. Look, man, they all look beautiful and sweet when they're blowing you on their hands and knees. All right.
I tend to out crazy them.
You tend to out crazy them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look at D3 in the chat shaking her head. I don't know, D3. You're kind of a hottie. I sense a little bit of crazy.
She's shaming us.
As long as she's crazy for you, that's all that matters, right? So,
I mean, that's what you tell yourself while you're in the relationship, but then your guitar amp gets broken and the cops end up at your house.
Holy smokes, man.
I didn't know cops knew how to fix guitar amps.
No,
that's the real kicker.
The scary part is when you put them out and you wake up and they're sleeping next to you. It's like...
They're looking into your soul. Right?
How did you get back in here? The doors and windows were locked and nothing's broken.
Next thing you know, you got a tattoo. You got a tattoo with her name on it on your body and stuff.
I got called at work from inside my own house by this woman.
Is it love if she hasn't tried to kill you? Exactly.
Damn, man. That's some commitment.
Is it? Can you really call it love if she hasn't come at you with at least 2 knives?
It's almost like they want to be the Harley Quinn in the Joker. They want that Harley Quinn Joker dynamic, you know.
2
I don't like
knives
shrinks,
or
so
the
it's not gonna
same
work.
knife twice.
It can be either or. Two different
She had a
knives.
favorite knife, to be fair.
Yeah, see, I fucked up and bought mine a shockwave shotgun. Did not, however, give her any ammunition, but she found a way. She found a way.
It's a shotgun. Just put anything
I
in
guess
it.
I've never been in love.
Ortho's living dangerously. Yeah.
It's a shotgun. You put anything you want in it. That's the point.
That's not how that works, Hank. These aren't blunderbusses with black powder, okay?
I found out the hard way when I tried to kick mine out. Came back later the day to find out everything she had left. Everything I had, she had taken.
The key trick is to have another homie use his place instead of your own, right? so that way she never knows where you live and stuff.
Change the locks, gentlemen.
Just saying, this chick is hot.
I want lawyers here.
Okay.
Lawyers now!
You're not going
Don't
home.
touch
Have
me.
a seat. Then have a seat
I don't
and
care.
act right.
No.
Okay. You can just go right in the cell.
No.
Stop.
Okay, just
Make sure there's nothing in her pockets.
No one touched me.
don't start.
I gotta go home.
You gotta pop your shoes off here.
Kung Fu kicking into the midair.
What's her name? Stop.
She's dancing like the lame from Seinfeld.
One more time.
It's so stupid out of here.
Just kick your shoes off,
No,
please.
I want to go home. I'm not taking my shoes off, you idiot.
All right. Thank you. Come
I
on,
bet
Jen.
that part is nasty.
Let's go to.
I bet you that bitch gives mean head.
I can fix her.
Yeah, this is a gentlemen. This is a what we call a project girl, much like your project car. You will not succeed, but it will be very fun trying, and the rides will be very enjoyable.
Even the cops don't know what she was arrested for, D3.
But that's not how I conduct my business. If I get fixed, something's going to be all the way fixed. So
Live
there's no
dangerously,
projects.
my friends. Live dangerously.
Technically, she trespassed, resisted arrest, and I don't know. Disorderly conduct would be a stretch, but they charge everybody.
I mean, that's a little extreme. I mean, she was trying to get in the club, but perhaps she was doing something else. Who knows? So.
She was
That's
annoyed.
if we take the cops' word for it too, because it was not on camera. Cops often, accuse people of trespassing when they haven't trespassed. They think that like if they tell you that you're being trespassed and you don't immediately get up and run as far away from the building as you can, that's trespassing. They think if you don't give your name or your information, that's trespassing.
Or what I think, because I used to be a club promoter, she probably just got rejected from the club. They probably have standards of like what type of women they want in. They want models or whatever. And she just didn't like that. So she caused a huge fit. So they called the cops. Well, that's
Right, that's what seems like it happened.
Yeah, that seems exactly what happened because you saw that like really goblina looking chick leaving the club.
And the problem with that is technically somebody needs to tell her who's authorized that she's not allowed on the property and inform her before it's.
Well, I think they did because that woman that told her no. At the very beginning of the video, she was not a cop, and she looked more like she was dressed as somebody who would work at a club. Well, she's the one who stopped her, and then the cop stepped in.
The problem is he can't be an employee. It's got to be the law is specific, guys, and it says the owner.
Yeah.
Or an authorized person.
Or the doorman. Like basically the club is a private entity group, so they could use their own discretion to let anyone in or kick people out. And they have certain capacity also. So
Yeah, so as long as the club authorizes in their own policy, whoever the person they send to kick people out, they can do it. So
yep. It's a
But
private.
you have to give people notice first. That's the
They
thing.
don't give notice because maybe it's certain things like she wore, right? They just don't view her classy, or they don't view her as hot enough because the biggest thing, clubs are a Ponzi scheme, right? They want rich guys to spend money on girls that they know they can't get. So it's just like to keep that cycle. They can't let like goblins in, so
yeah,
if it's a top tier club. So
and the problem is they could get her, so she's get her out of here. She's already locked for the cops, so she can't keep her out because someone could nab her.
I guarantee you, one of those cops is dating this chick now.
Yeah.
I promise you. I guarantee. I would be. If I was a cop. Not gonna lie, I couldn't resist.
Let's go to the cell.
I'm not moving.
Everything good? Okay, well, we can help you, but I would much rather you walk on your own.
All right,
Now
Jen,
watch
we're gonna
them pull her up by her arms.
No.
I don't want her bracelet to break.
I want these off and I want to go home.
Okay, well, stomping on my foot and kicking your legs around is not going to change that.
I wasn't doing anything wrong, you idiots!
Yes, you were.
I wasn't. That's the thing. Like, I literally wasn't.
Great. Stop. Kick you.
I'm not doing it. I'm not.
You know what? Stop.
Take these off of me now.
You got her legs out? You need to stop, okay? You want to go home? Then stop. And just listen to what we say.
Let me go home.
Stop kicking.
So you guys have better stuff to do, you idiots.
Well,
Go arrest somebody that's doing something bad. You fucking idiots.
well, now you
I
got
mean, fair point.
No, you fucking idiots.
I agree.
You have anything better to do, you dumb.
They really don't. They enforce private property laws and collect revenue for the state.
Yes.
Well, it seemed to me like they arrested her. It seemed to me like they arrested her right after she made the attempt to go inside. It would seem that the arrest wouldn't be the paramount thing. It would just be, okay, just keep her from going inside anymore.
Right.
Yes, it is a mating call, and it is working.
Man, that is like
It depends.
It's like a siren song, man. Like Medusa.
Exactly.
You know?
It depends what your motive is, right? And this is what I was saying earlier about their motivation. Did she cause this situation? Yes. So she's given them every excuse to do whatever they want to her. But that's the thing is a real man wouldn't want to do this stuff to a 90-pound-year-old female having some kind of mental episode.
Well, I'm not a real man then. Granted, I don't want to work for the state or be a cop, but never mind. I'm just gonna be quiet.
Maybe she damaged property also. You never know. So,
I mean,
The
I don't want to be a
immediate
cop, but
arm
I
twist.
definitely. I don't
And
want
the
to be
way
a
they were
cop.
able
but
to coordinate it too. That's all. You know, that's my entire argument. Was that freeze frame?
Yeah, I mean, I get where you're coming from, but like, I don't want to be a cop, but I do want to put her in cuffs. I'm just gonna be real.
Yeah, but that's not what I'm talking about.
I do want to twist her arm, throw her around a little bit. Just sounds fun.
I'm thinking that we're not talking about the same thing.
I mean, I'll even put her in a cage till she calms down.
damn. Damn, man.
I'll tell her to behave. She can stomp on my foot, and I'll just throw her on the ground. But I mean, like, I don't want to be a cop while doing any of this.
Who wants to be a cop dealing with this? It's horrible, right?
Oh, I love dealing with this, just not in an official capacity.
You haven't seen the pay yet.
What, Yank?
You haven't seen the pay yet, though.
Yeah, but see, I do this for free. There are some. Never mind. Never mind.
You guys are hurting me. Ow! Ow! You
Let me get those off. Let me just get the cuffs off.
There's a toilet in there?
Stay right there.
She got herself her own cell?
There are 2 toilets in there now.
Wow.
What's your name?
I'm Patrolman Lead.
Lead? What's your name?
Patrolman Ortho.
Okay. Oh, my lawyers will be calling you soon.
All I'm saying is, if you grabbed a handful of the back of that hair, she would stop complaining so much. That's all I'm saying.
Just have a seat. We'll be right back.
Don't fucking do it.
Ooh.
Don't fucking do it.
Okay, well,
You're
now you
fucking
definitely catch us some charge. Definitely
You pigs.
Back up.
Oh, she got pigs in. I like this girl.
Oh my.
Get the cell.
She's a fighter and it's hot.
Yeah, and see, now he's lost his patience now.
That's some crazy. That's some craziness right there.
Like that. You want to punch?
Yeah. Do you want to punch me? Yes, bitch.
Yeah, you just punched me.
Fuck you. What do you think?
It's amazing how a tiny person like this is just like going nuts, you know.
So you've never dated a spinner?
Yeah.
Nah. I stay away from them, man.
Helicopter.
I'm dead. Hey, brown hairs. Cool. And no water allowed?
We don't have any other water right now.
That's crazy.
I'll look for a cup here in a second, but I have paperwork to do everything else, okay?
Yeah, that's fair.
So as soon as
I am
you're-
parched and I need water now.
Okay, well, this isn't the Hilton.
Don't care.
Okay.
Good enough.
Would you like to keep acting like this and stay till 6
Just
in the
get her
morning,
some
or
water,
do
you
when your
fucking
father gets here?
baby.
I'm gonna ask you to call my dad.
I didn't. I never called your dad. I don't even know how they found out, but I spoke to Mom on the phone. She said your dad's on the way. As long as you're fine, I'll release you
She
to him. Okay?
thirsty.
Yeah.
I'm thirsty now too.
I like
Hey,
how
and she's on the
chilling in bed.
bed. Yeah,
Yeah.
look,
Yeah, look
she
at her
knows
legs.
the
She's
assignment.
chillaxing. Yeah, she's chillaxing.
This is her foreplay. See, this is the type of bitch you
I
just
told
donkey
you.
punch.
If I can find a cup, absolutely. Okay. Hey,
Good sir. This is not a white trash mating ritual. This is just a mating ritual for brats.
Yeah, they're probably gonna be white trash most of the time.
how you doing? Hey.
I mean, yeah, but like brats. I'm not gonna get into it. Never mind.
I'm Patrolman Lee. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. You ordered Jenna's dad? Yes. It might be a while. She still ain't acting right. So, she still wants to demand water like this is the Hilton. She's still screaming at us, calling us names.
Oh, boo fucking who?
Demand their water.
Right,
Oh,
baby.
she called you name.
Oh no.
Yeah, so that's the arbiter of making her stay longer, even though somebody is there to bail her out. It's a
Right.
commercial transaction, but this guy is in his emotions, so he's gonna alter that commercial transaction. And
This is why I
and
say
whine
they're
about it.
exactly
Make
like
her,
the people that they police.
yep.
He's like a spoiled, entitled 20-year-old female.
So if he's out of water, you can give her some apple juice. How about that, Copper? Go give her some apple juice since you're out of water.
What's up, the freak? Samuel, Godhand, how are you guys doing?
There's absolute madness here, man. Absolute madness. This is the father, right?
Yeah, this is the father.
Man, just look at his face, man. He's just like, ah, shit.
He's like, she's a crazy bitch. I know. I raised her. She's just like her mom.
Yeah.
Oh damn! Oh damn!
There's like the brother or somebody back there too.
The brother is like in the cuck chair in this transaction. It's kind of funny.
Oh,
With
that's
the
the brother
boyfriend.
right there. Oh shit!
Back there looks like another male
Right here.
acquaintance.
He could be
Guys, we're almost 2 hours in. Let's get some donos up in this mofo, if you don't mind. We're gonna go for at least 3 hours today, though, without the need for an extension. But we're 1 hour and 50, or almost 50 minutes in. I do want to get to El Pero's topic. It does sound interesting, and maybe he can drop some education on us. But let's get some donos, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't mind. If you enjoy what we're doing here today.
Hey, Tiff.
So,
All right, did anybody have any extra comments before I press play? Take that as a no.
I mean, I'm not really in the practice of getting disrespected and then just letting somebody go early. So I know you.
Wow.
That was such a bitch made. This is why even me as a fascist, I cannot like the police.
Is that
My
Jack
feelings
Talbot?
a 95-pound girl hurt my feelings, so I'm gonna hold her in a cell against her will. Like, while I think that premise is based, when you do it as a cop and not a brat tamer, it's kind of gay.
Yeah, like she called me names, so now I'm not gonna give a human being water. Go fuck yourself.
Crazy, even.
You came down here. I'll give her a shot for another 20 minutes or so. And then if she's fine, we'll get her out to you, okay?
What did she do? If you don't mind me asking.
I mean, I can't really tell you. She's an adult. She's 24.
Fail! No, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Arrested her. We've got her in containment and everything, and we don't know why yet. Oops.
Yep,
No,
we gotta figure that out still.
Her lawyer will have a great time with this one, I'm sure.
Hell yeah.
Exactly, Halted. Just find her and send her home at worst. This dude's being a huge homosexual.
Wasting her time. I'll call the cops on him at that point because I think he has a kidnapping.
He just proved Fourth Amendment rights violations.
Yeah.
His own words.
If you can't even say what it is, I just say that's a kidnapping. I'll call the cops on him at that point, and also the lawyers. So.
No, he's just going to testify that he didn't have any obligation to tell the father.
And then he'll get away with it based on that.
Yep.
Yeah, but yeah, doing more paperwork.
You know what? I feel like we should make cops do even more paperwork since that seems to be their natural enemy. Yes, the cop is a pussy. Yes, Brat Tamers for the win. We have a donation from Innate Ways. It says, for support. Thank you, sir. You've earned you some booty. Let's go. Here's that booty. We are pimps around here.
My money don't jiggle jiggle, it folds. I like to see you wiggle wiggle, for sure. And make me wanna dribble dribble. You know, riding in my beer, you really have to see it. 6 feet 2 in a compact, no stack. But luckily the beats go back. I got a neck to relax in my mind, sipping something red wine.
I sit bruised from chalices, holding my palaces. Grip is so crampy, suck it up from paralysis. Times, I ride him in the
Innate Ways says thigh gap. Let's go. But yeah, my Fifi's hurt. She said bad names to me. Cop equals pussy. Let's go. I've been hit by numerous girls. Not one time did it hurt.
But she's got some charges, so there'll be a court date. I'll make sure she has all the paperwork when she leaves. But yeah, her conduct has not been wonderful. So,
does she know I'm here?
Yeah. No, I let her know. Okay. Yeah, I mean, she's been accosting us over water, which I gave her a cup of water before, and she just wants more and more. And tell my dad and this and that. And okay, unfortunately,
Can I see her?
No, not right now. Like we can't let
More and more and more.
You know what? Hold on.
Two whole cups of water? Oh, well, shit.
Like, this makes me, like, whenever I hear cops talk about civilians like this shit makes me really, 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 really remember Athens.
Hmm.
You know, y'all know what I'm talking about? Where the corrupt cops got BTFO'd by a citizen militia.
Interesting. Oh, man, I forgot about that.
What would it
But
take in this country for that, though? Most people support the police. They watch this shit and they root for the police.
Like, we're not changing topics because our next topic is going to be El Perro, but I do, before we finish that, I do want to bring this up. Just the smart ass way he's going, nah, and they don't let they make it, like, prisons and jails make it incredibly hard for you to see your family.
August 1st, 1946. After fighting in the bloodiest war the world had ever seen, World War II vets returned home to McMinn County, Tennessee, expecting peace. Instead, they found corruption, extortion, and intimidation. Only this time, the tyranny wore badges. Deputies were paid by the arrest, and they arrested everyone. Tourists, workers. Sober or not, if you looked tired, you were drunk. Illegal gambling and prostitution thrived. Elections? Rigged before the first ballot was even cast. The breaking point came when they started shaking down GIs. The same men who had fought for freedom abroad were now being jailed at home. So the veterans formed their own party. They ran for office. They played by the rules. But on election day, deputies shot an elderly black man for not voting the right way, then stole the ballot boxes and fled to the county jail. The GIs had seen enough.
America.
National Guard Armory armed up and surrounded the jail. 6 hours, thousands of rounds, dynamite at the door. This was the Battle of Athens.
That's
I just think we need, and I should cover this on my show later. I think we will talk about that later.
Yeah, put that in.
What year was that? 1967?
1946. But think what would
after
happen.
the atom bomb was invented.
Yeah, think about what would happen if a family of 6 to 10 people decided to arm up and do something because they're treated this way by the police. Not calling for it or anything. Just think about it a little bit.
It wouldn't do anything because the government has nukes and F-35s.
It doesn't need to be said. And I won't say it either because it's a natural consequence. It will happen.
Hopefully. God willing, the people will take back their country. God hand with the 10. Yeah, I don't say people's names, so if you didn't give me your username, I wouldn't have said a name. I would have just said thank you and say you know who you are. I will not say your name, but thank you, God hand. That's who that's from. Thank you for the dono. You, sir, get you some booty. Here's some booty for you. That last
Not
part,
hyped for it.
I just like that last part though.
I'm Team Lauren on this one.
Really?
Yeah, it's C chlamydia.
Damn.
Y'all are mean. Crazy. Well, the next dono gets your booty played, so.
Woohoo!
Lord just got to hit me with the clip because I still haven't made that. No, out of spite for Snowman, I will not be doing that. Because Snowman knows what he did.
All right. No, I mean, I get it. She's safe. She's in the cell. She's not, harmed or anything like that. But her actions right now are completely just ridiculous. So,
Almost as ridiculous as a public official refusing water.
Yeah, almost, right?
Just make
All right, look, I'm gonna be real. Not saying that I support her behavior, but it would be so fucking funny if she turned around and punched the cop again. I'll be real.
door right this way. And then just, no, not this one, all the way down. And then just make a right in here. All right, you toss your sneakers on.
Oh, what? We've been here for like 2 hours. I didn't have any water. Sorry. It was a hard drink. The water fountain.
Here's all your property.
Where's my phone?
You didn't have your phone with you. Let's see. Charges, there's noise, interference with business, defiant trespass, assault, and resisting. The court date, I'll circle on here for you. It's going to be June 12th at 9 a.m. What's that?
What do y'all get charged with?
As far as what?
You guys actually cut me in there.
Okay.
You give me water.
I got you water.
Yeah, after how long I'm asking? Do you have that on video?
Sure.
Cool. Can I have that tape?
No, you can't. You have to ask for it.
Cool. I'm gonna call.
Okay. But your dad's out in the lobby. I got your charges right here.
This guy's a fag.
Just June 12th, 9 a.m. And then I would just also contact the court. Make sure nothing changed with the court date or anything like that, okay?
Are you proud of yourself?
For?
Making a big arrest?
I didn't arrest you.
Oh, just.
Can you just make a right this way?
No.
Okay. Just right this way.
This is the guy that likes the
I don't know where
paperwork.
I'm going.
Just right towards the brown door.
What's your name?
Patrolman Leave.
First name?
Eric?
Eric Lee.
Yep. Your dad should be right out here to the left.
You just have to be left there.
Okay, have a nice day. Have a good one, sir.
Do y'all want to watch the Wannabe Gangster or do y'all want to move on?
Wannabe Gangster?
Wannabe Gangster.
Wannabe Gangster?
What
that is?
That's the body cam where they arrest a innocent black man.
No, let's go to El Perro's thing.
I also have Mr. El Perro's pulled up.
Let's go to El Perro's thing like we agreed to do.
Fair enough. Let's go. Mr. El Perro, you are the lead on this topic because I don't really know nothing about it. I've never experienced family court. All I can tell you is biased information based on knowing people that had to deal with it and their opinions.
I appreciate it.
So you are the lead. So whenever you say pause, I will pause it.
Thank you.
Speaking as an expert as well as someone with.
Most
you
of,
will have a comment?
Most of it, I'm just, it's 22 minutes long. So if you want to speed it up a little bit, it's fine. But most of it, I just want people to pay attention to what this woman is saying because she's spot on. These people are doing this stuff on purpose. They have a certain knowledge, and that purpose is to destroy families because that's where they get their money. If a family cannot stand strong, they will not stand together and go against the police department like they did in Athens. That's what they're trying to prevent.
Exactly.
They're trying to prevent them from being hung. So if they can destroy the family from the foundation, they will do so.
They are purposely destroying the family unit. This is why I don't hold much credit when you hear Republicans and other politicians talking about the family and family values, because they do not actually care about the family. It is a talking point to get votes from traditionalist people, and all they care about is keeping the state running and making money for corporations.
Absolutely.
This is a joint legislative committee on family court orders, and this is a doctor and her testimony on family court violence, and it's
Yes.
the Arizona State Senate.
Yeah, not just she isn't just a regular doctor. This is a world-renowned psychiatrist, and she speaks at the UN and everything. She's represented cases in 30 some odd states already in the United States, so she knows what she's doing, and she will tell you it is systemic, and it is the same across the board. It is done with purpose.
Well, let's dive into it.
Personal involvement in the family court of Bergen County, New Jersey.
Could you please tell us your expertise? Your expertise?
I'm a forensic psychiatrist and violence expert with 25 years of experience. I've been in criminal and
What
civil
kind
courts
of
as an expert
experience?
witness in about 200 cases. About 50 of them are in family court.
That'll do it. All right. Please proceed, ma'am.
Just to give a little bit of more background, I am president of the World Mental Health Coalition, co-founder of the Violence Prevention Institute. I was a research fellow of the National Institute of Mental Health, taught at Yale School of Medicine and Yale Law School for 17 years before transferring to the Harvard program in psychiatry and the law. In 2007, I helped co-author the United Nations Secretary General's chapter on violence against children.
Later,
among
domestic.
other
Thank you.
international documents,
Stopping by.
helping governments to implement prison reform and other violence reduction programs. For clinical practice, I work in maximum
There we
security
go. That's what I
prisons,
want to hear.
treating some of the most violent individuals our society produces.
So she does have some
Yet
clinical experience.
Nothing prepared me for family court.
Yes, with the worst in society, men's prisons. She deals with the men's prisons.
Right.
So she's and that's why I said at the beginning when I came up, this is the foundation of why we have adult victims, and most of the adult victims don't realize it, and a lot of them are caught up in it and have no idea. And we end up with a lot of our adult males in prison because of it. Instead of teaching our adult males to be adult males, we are victimizing them as boys. The day we circumcise them, that's genital mutilation. And yet we hear this thing about transgender and genital mutilation nowadays. Why isn't it brought up long before then? It's the same issue.
This is a big business, Like there's a lot of like corporations that are on the S&P stock exchange that are making money left and right, incarcerating people, So
biggest moneymaker there is. Thanks.
Just like the transgenderism argument, the whole reason that is being pushed in our society isn't because of. This is why I love debating leftists on it. It's not about, just be nice to them. These people have a right to live how they want to. No, it's about the cosmetics industry, the massive amount of money that they make giving these surgeries to people.
Yeah, and as a leftist, I know that the surgery is useless. Gender is just a string you put next to your name. You don't need the surgery. Makes no freaking difference. It's just a way to make some money from stupid people.
Fair enough.
Family courts as sites of violence, but by denying or worse, exploiting the existence of domestic violence and child abuse, family courts have become one of the deadliest places for children and the adults who try to protect them. I commend you for calling these meetings and calling out family court as the national emergency that it is. I have testified before the legislatures of Colorado, New York, Louisiana, Tennessee, and Washington, and I'm very honored to be here. I'll be submitting a more scholarly written testimony for the record, but here I will not mince words. Family courts are a danger to society, and unless dramatically reformed, they need to be abolished altogether for the safety of our children and their loving families. This may sound extreme, but when an institution causes far greater harm than good, indeed sends close to 100,000 children per year to their soul murder, if not actual murder, then such an intervention is necessary. I have the empirical data to back up my claims, which I can get to if there's time. Despite my 25 years as an expert witness for the courts, I did not know about family courts. Since learning about them, I've tried to take as many cases as possible, but while I'm considered a highly qualified expert in criminal and any other court, only in family court have I been unwelcome. In fact, judges often try to find almost any reason not to admit me. This is because they, as a rule, are not looking for qualified experts. They seek poorly trained or compromised so-called experts who will fix the results in the direction they desire. In other words, the opposite direction of which the case should go. Unfortunately, sending children to their abuse, rape, battery, murder, sex trafficking, and pornography production has become a lucrative business. I would not have known about family courts except for my sister's divorce. One moment, her children are thriving under her care with perfect physical and psychological health, and she's praised around the neighborhood for her parenting skills, consulted by other parents and teachers. The next moment, her previously absentee father files for divorce, and her children are seized in a police raid without warning on their legitimately assigned weekend to be together, and the violently abusive father who almost killed each of his 2 children by head injury gets sole custody.
Pause.
And the mother has not seen or heard from them.
So when they purposely put the children with the abuser, that is the money scheme, because now the mom has to fight in court, and they will make her fight in court until she has nothing left. And they don't give a rat's ass about the dad, the mom, or the children. They're there for the buck, and they want everybody's money. Because when mom's done fighting and dad has the children, guess what happens? He's still abusive, and now the police are going to come in and take the children from him even, and now they're wards of the state totally. It's a total destruction of the family by their involvement. And they're an association of administration only. They have no legal powers, yet people believe they do. It's a contract venue. That's it.
But what about if they mutually agree not to go into court? Are they allowed to not go into court? Because I'm not too familiar with this family law.
Well, yeah, and see, that's just it. In any court, it's a presumption. And until you know how to beat the presumption, they will play on that ignorance and tell you you have to come to court. Yet personal jurisdiction, in order for a court to obtain personal jurisdiction, the plaintiff must first serve the defendant in the state in which the court sits. So it's the plaintiff that's obtaining personal jurisdiction for the court, first and foremost. Then a second part of that is, and the defendant needs to voluntarily appear in court. And if people don't read this stuff and don't do their research so they can find this stuff, they'll never know it. People like myself that put it out there, I put this stuff out there all the time. People don't listen to it. They don't understand that you're volunteering for everything. It's a place. Because everybody's living out their life on beliefs. They don't want to know. It's comfort and convenience to just let everybody else take the responsibility of knowing how things work. And then when it happens to you, that's when you start acting like that girl in the lab.
Well, I already know they don't know how things work, so there's no comfort for me.
Well, that's part of the problem. People believe you have so much faith in your fellow man. And like this lady said, she didn't understand what was going on until it involved her own sister. And it tore her sister up. And she's first-hand knowledge of the character of her sister and the absent father. He was an absent father.
El Perro, can you fix your mic? It's like you're kind of it's muffled.
How's that? Is that a little better? I just turned the
Yeah.
volume down.
That is
much
way
better.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
So the thing is that if they bring in an absent father as the premise, then they have no foundation. See, the father already didn't establish the family. That's why they have the ability to tear apart the family. The men are not standing up as the head of the house. They are not setting thine house in order. You guys that wanted to sit here and razz and rave about that girl earlier, how you would do this and that to her, that's the devious shit. You have to be honorable man and know that the woman that you're chasing is not crazy.
Well, I know about a lot of devious men who've bred, so I don't understand your argument yet.
So anyway,
It's
the
like-
point there is everything's commercial, guys.
Yeah. This is a symptom of a big, larger disease of what's happening in America. It's like these corporations are pretty much like dictating our lives, and along with the military-industrial complex. It's just
Well, the corporations are just made out of other people, so it's just some guy down the road.
yeah, but it's just not the corporation are just not anybody, right? It's not random Joe Schmoes. It's been like planned for like decades and stuff. They're
Nope.
deeply embedded with the government. Yeah, they passed the laws and all that.
They don't plan that far ahead. They went apeshit with the tariffs. They don't plan that far ahead.
Yeah, that terrorist was a farce. You know that, right? It was just a spaz. And basically Trump played his card. Basically, he saw the markets were tanking, and that's why he pulled back, saying that this is, it's bullshit.
Yeah, it's a farce, which is why all the PC manufacturers and are throwing a fit because being taxed more doesn't affect their business whatsoever. Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
I mean, can't two things be true, D3? That the woman is crazy and the man who says she's crazy is not perfect and probably a douchebag.
And that's why.
But if a woman says she's with a narcissist, she's probably telling the truth, and you should #believe all women.
Isn't that quite narcissistic in itself?
Now, Pero.
Gotcha.
Don't go calling out logical fallacies now.
I mean, there's two sides to every story. So, but the truth doesn't really sell. No.
Truth is just a feeling.
I'm a
It would seem, yep.
What
You
do
get
we
an
do when she's
eviction.
actually crazy?
Post an eviction notice and get a restraining order. It's easier
Honestly,
than you think.
Or just
Yeah,
get away.
what we ain't gonna do is dogpile D3 now. She is a nice lady and a supporter of the channel.
I mean, she's a doc, right? Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's. I do think she is a mental health professional. She
Oh,
would
that's
know.
good.
I think she mentioned something about that a couple streams ago, actually.
Yeah. I wonder how she feels
You're
about.
like a man.
I wonder how she feels about like people giving psychiatric advice on panels and stuff. It's like, oh, she's an anesthesiologist. Okay, so she's a real doc. Yeah.
Fair
That must be
enough.
why she's so intoxicating.
They're like I work in hospitals too as a healthcare professional. Anesthesiologists, they're the best. If you need like an intubation, they're the best. They're the best, bar none.
Crazy. I don't know because I didn't know what type of doctor she was, but she mentioned being in not the mental health, but the health field a couple streams ago. We're
Well-
talking about her and Ike.
Well, docs in general, like they get trained on psychiatry, right? Part of their residency, they get rotations and stuff, to get the warning signs if a person's going to harm themselves and they're in the hospital, what to do and all that. But most psychiatrists, there's a rule kind of like a unspoken rule. Most of them are crazy themselves too, you know.
Yes, we do have to do psych.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna play some more of this video now.
The children she raised since birth for the next 4 years. Not even 1 minute. And what is the reason that the family court gave? She was supposedly mentally ill, even though no licensed professional ever raised any concerns. Subsequently, she has been evaluated by 11 world-renowned psychiatric experts, some of them consultants to the United Nations, the US Supreme Court, and the International Criminal Court, who all unanimously said she had excellent mental health and exceptional talent in parenting. But none of this mattered. Only one unlicensed and unqualified associate counselor with a master's degree contradicted them all. And this is one report the family court judge would accept.
And that's where the purpose is. They dismiss the legitimacy and go for their inbound, in office, in associate, unqualified person to make a statement and then put it in the public record that the other person is not competent, despite the overwhelming evidence saying otherwise by renowned professionals that are licensed.
That's crazy, man.
There is no way around it.
Well, that's why when we were having the conversation about the halls and how much they cost over here from Kev's the other day, and I asked Peace Dynamo if I upset her because she said, or on Kev's chat, she told me I wouldn't be able to be considered a expert on the topic despite my momentous research on it. That's the thing. These courts and these government things, they're arbitrary on who they select. They only select experts that benefit their case and their narrative. Doesn't matter anything else. And that's for any topic, family courts or anything.
Let's drop the word professionals and stuff because they're not. They're unlicensed. They're going to their unlicensed associates.
Or they're just like groomed people that suits their agenda. Just like with like health insurance and stuff, when you have to deal with pre-authorizations, right, for medications, you got docs on the other side of the line. They would hang up on you and you would spend on the phone for like 3 or 4 hours just trying to clear a patient's medication. But they'll do every basically trick in the book to not get that medication approved. It's sickening, you know.
We'll play some of this video, all right, ladies and gentlemen?
Experts, family courts make use of guardians ad litem. In my sister's case, the guardian ad litem lied or perjured 600 documented times in her case, and even co-conspired with her ex-husband to attempt to cause her demise, putting her in the intensive care unit. But in the end, Judge Jane Galena Mecca only protected her, the guardian ad litem. In fact, the judge now regularly appoints this guardian ad litem, Evelyn Asirios, in almost every case she presides over. For these reasons, we are now pursuing the impeachment of Jane Galena Mecca. But I'm sure this is a familiar story, and it is correct to address this as a systemic problem. After participating in approximately 50 family court cases, I've come to learn that my sister's situation is not at all unusual. Cases may vary widely, but family courts all across the country produce almost the same result when abuse is alleged, which is the vast majority of custody cases. That is, custody is almost invariably taken from the stable, nurturing parent who are well bonded with their children to be given to their abusers. The more clear-cut the case, the more draconian this formula. And the stronger the evidence the good parent presents, the more retaliation they face. I've not once seen supervised visits be applied to the dangerous parent, and if the children resist, as healthy children would, they're sent to reunification camps, which are in truth torture camps, intended to extinguish any drive to resist their own abuse. And the same holds true for reunification therapy. I guess I'm running out of time, so.
Oh, no, ma'am, you have plenty of time.
I've been through it all and she's spot on.
Thank you.
Through the foster care and adoption process that took 5 years, being in and out of foster cares every 3, 4, 6 months, moving to a new one, 15 to 20 foster care homes in 5 years. And it was the exact same thing. It's not improvement for the children. It's destroying the children. I still scream to this day, "You're not my daddy, fuck off," because of it. Of course, that's a good thing now that I realize my own spirituality. There is but one Father which art in heaven. So when it comes to the reality of the spiritual child, that's what's being destroyed. If that's destroyed when they're a child, they cannot grow up to set their house in order. That's the imperative that they have to destroy so that the false patriarch can have its power. The only way it has that power is by the people giving it to them. Thank you.
Understood, and for the most part, agreed. Is this the only time this lady speaks, or do you want to watch the whole video, or was it just her that needed to speak?
But that's not entirely true. You can give them power, or they can just take it. So.
Well, if they're taking it, then they're doing it through a violation somewhere, because they cannot have power except through the people. The fiction, the corporate entity, does not have power unless it has customers, people that go to them. They don't come to us. Again, it's the people giving it up. And this lady, even though her time is supposedly up, the joint legislation says, no, you continue on. We want to hear what you got to say. So she goes on for the rest of this, I believe.
Well, they did come for us when they asked us to volunteer a contract for them. So, otherwise,
well, we're at 6 minutes. Let's try to get through at least the next 10 minutes. If you do want to say something, Pero, just say pause.
Will do.
But let's try to get through the next 10 minutes, because I am getting a little tired, and we're 2 hours and 30 minutes in. I don't think I'm going to do an extension, but if the audience want ones, they can. We can discuss that after we get through this video.
I have often compared family courts to the prisons that I have studied for decades. Medieval barbarism that civilized society cannot imagine happens within them. Those who enter are grievously maltreated, and all manner of human rights violations occur with no accountability because of a lack of transparency. Torture is routine, and even murder goes unpunished. In family courts, judges have the authority to seal their cases, and this essentially gives them star chamber-like secrecy. Without a jury or any oversight, what occurs within is usually unmoored from the law, especially with the exceptional discretion that people have talked about, the family judges have. This was initially granted so that judges could exercise benevolence with vulnerable families, but a 120-year chronicle has shown that it has rather been used for malevolence quite regularly. When tragic deaths happen all too often, the public assumes that there must have been extenuating circumstances, or that these institutions are doing their best under difficult circumstances. They do not imagine that family courts actually facilitated the deaths, or even forced them on families that mobilized all their resources to prevent. I've come to call family courts anti-courts, where case fixing replaces fact-finding, pseudoscience is given precedence over established science, conflicts of interest replace any semblance of impartiality, and the greatest injustices done to families are committed in the name of justice. If a hospital or clinic were deliberately killing rather than curing people, it would immediately be shuttered. But when courts do this, there's no relief because of judicial immunity, and we have learned that judges cannot be relied upon to hold other judges accountable. Instead, prisons and family courts, because of their secrecy and impunity, have become magnets for violent, sadistic, and psychopathic individuals who relish exercising power over others. Those who do not go along with the culture usually are threatened or ousted. Prison guards may be seen as poorly trained individuals who come from similar backgrounds as the prisoners, but family court players are even more dangerous since they're driven by a $50 to $175 billion industry hidden beneath the power of being called a court. Now there's a bunch of statistics that I could cite. I'll submit it in.
Well, if
for
you
the
would,
record.
just get the statistics to our office and we'll
Yes.
appreciate that.
I will do so. This is all scientifically supported.
Okay.
The
Thank
public
you.
is unaware of the epidemic of violence occurring through the family courts because judges threaten reporters and journalists as well to control their coverage. When a major magazine published an interview with me, the judge in my sister's case issued an order for them to immediately unpublish the article. When their legal department sternly rebuked the judge for violating the First Amendment, she rather returned to her drawing board and issued a second order. It turned out that even the Washington Post had shamed her 10 years earlier for trying to order the takedown of another article, but because of impunity, she remains undaunted and her unconstitutional orders are continue. The end result is that this magazine and others vow never to cover family court stories again. The United
Well, that's
Nations.
a mistake.
Absolutely. That's the point
As
that I'm
you
making.
said earlier, Justice Brandeis.
That's right.
How about a little sunshine on this? And frankly, ma'am.
Would you like to continue on that?
No, that's the basic point I make is the First Amendment, freedom of expression. You have to speak out. And these people are violating that in every way because that's their main goal is to shut you up because you don't have any say in their venue. It's their venue and they are asserting it because you believe that it has power over you. That's why they will censor you. When you understand that they don't have power, they can't censor you.
Agree.
Fair enough. I agree with you.
You put more sunshine on this than many of the people that have testified over the last 3 hearings.
Well, I've been in a lot of cases and I've examined all the evidence. It's not insufficiency of evidence. It's not ignorance or incompetence. It's quite despairingly deliberate.
I appreciate that. And we really have run out of time with you. I'd let you talk the rest of the day if I could get away with it. But we do have a couple questions for you. All right. At least I know everybody else is chomping at the bit. One major question for me is in your professional opinion, with all that you've heard and what you've clearly lived through, and I presume that your sister's case is out of New York? Or
New Jersey, actually, Bergen
New Jersey.
County.
Okay. Same old to us out in the West. Do you think or believe that judges have been taken in by this psycho, I'm going to call it psychobabble, but you called it pseudoscience, pseudopsychology, almost in a Svengali kind of way where they just totally disregard a mountain of evidence in front of them for the shiny object in the room that is somehow overtaken the thought process of the judge. Could you speak to that?
I would say the direction was actually in the opposite, that judges go looking for experts who will give them the whatever theory that will allow them to give the children to their abusers. And parental alienation, for example, is one which has been used as a tactic to deflect from and deny abuse allegations. I actually say that it's a pretext for predatory alienation of the good parent.
Okay. Have you ever heard of AFCC?
Yes. Unfortunately, they are quite driven by the parental alienation theory, and I believe that is because it brings them profit.
Well, all right, you jumped right to the next question. Good. I'll go ahead and put it out there. It occurs to me that this organization, from everything that I've seen, read, really has a profit motive that it's driven by, not necessarily a best interest of the child. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay.
And actually, very distressingly, not only is this prevalent in all 50 US states, I will say, and I've personally been in cases in about 20 to 30 states, and it has been used as a business model, exported abroad, to the point where the United Nations Human Rights Council put out a major report in 2023 alerting this family court problem as a public health crisis because of the model that's been exported from the US abroad.
I presume that that report is online, that we can pull it down?
Yes.
Okay. If you would, could you give us the report title to that so that we can pull that in?
Yes, it's by the UN Special Rapporteur on violence against children and women.
Okay, we'll definitely make that part of our report. One last question I have before I turn over to my colleagues. Have you heard of something called COBE?
Yes.
What's your opinion of court-ordered behavioral intervention?
I find it to be coercive. In fact, I call it torture, and it is intended to inculcate in children that they that what they see, heard, and have experienced is untrue, and it's a form of thought reform, in my view.
You know where that comes from, right? COBE?
No,
Phoenix, Arizona.
I see.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Representative Keschel.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. So have you ever been called as an expert witness in an Arizona family court? Because I know you said 20 some states.
Yes, in fact, I have.
Okay. With what you're hearing today from these people and your experience with the Arizona courts, do you feel that the judges are considering actual forensic evidence in any of these cases?
In my experience, no. I will have to honestly say that out of 50 cases, only one went the right way after unbelievable amounts of argument and
I put the link to that report in the back chat, brother, if you want to drop it in the lower chat for others.
After things have gotten bad.
I surely will for everyone. And if you would like, we can go over it, but I would ask that you share it on your screen so you can show us what you want to. And this is over.
Yeah, I just want people to be able. It's one of those things. Don't believe me, folks. Don't believe the neighbor. Don't believe the government. For crying out loud, don't believe your mother. Do your research. So the link is there for everybody so they can read. I've already read it and I can explain it to you, but I can't comprehend it for you. So again, it's important that you read it, do your research, and then follow up so you can comprehend it yourself. And I'd be glad to have a platform on discussing it further sometime.
Oh yeah, no, we can definitely, because this was kind of an impromptu stream, mainly for I was gonna give Lindsay an interview, but apparently she didn't want it. So we can definitely do a stream on this at a later date. That would be very awesome to talk about.
This is pretty eye revealing right here. I didn't know how bad it. I know it was bad, but I didn't know how bad it really was.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought this was gonna be some type of MGTOW complaining about women thing. I didn't know this was gonna be like abusing kids, family court, because that's the thing. That's kind of why I don't like MGTOW, because shit like this is way more important than hearing about someone losing their shit in a divorce. You know?
Yeah. My message, guys, because of my own situation, will always be about the children. No one else. You won't hear me speaking about myself except to mention that I've been through shit. And if you want to hear the story, I'll explain it to you in private sometime. There are some egregious, gross details that you would just be appalled by. So I don't talk about it much. And anytime I do, it's the message about the children. It's not about me or anybody else.
El Perro, do you do Discord by any chance?
I do, but it's not something I get involved in so much because I'm already so involved in all the other platforms. I have my own website. I have 30 channels here on YouTube, 5 of which that I publish to, multiple profiles on multiple social sites, and it just gets to be a lot.
Well, if you're willing, I posted my Discord in the back. If you'll join just for the sake of communication and research purposes, because I would like to do more on this topic because this is
Absolutely.
very interesting to me.
Absolutely. We'll do, brother.
And when we're done streaming, I'll create a special room in my Discord for you if you feel like dropping research topics and things if people want to know, because this is something that we definitely need to talk about more in the context that we're talking about it, right? Because like I'm completely not taken aback, but like completely in awe, because like I said, I thought this was going to be something about dads or men losing the house in the divorce, and they were going to be complaining. I wasn't expecting what we got here and now, and this is truly eye-opening.
I appreciate that, brother.
Mm-hmm. And I appreciate you bringing the topic. I really do.
Definitely an eye opener for sure.
But I have to say that no amount of evidence matters. A 4-year-old who has been claimed to have been raped, a positive rape kit, 3 medical professionals having interviewed her and called her credible, and burn marks, all kinds of injury marks. It was still considered unsubstantial, or whatever CPS says in these cases.
Ma'am, I'm sorry, doctor. Are you now, or have you ever worked with a U.S. attorney having to do with cases related to this? And I'll have a follow-up question to that, related to your field of expertise.
I have not. I've tried to reach out to a number of authorities, and including law enforcement, and my experience has been that they've been either unresponsive or protective of the judges.
Do you know what racketeering is, ma'am?
Yes, and I believe that a lot is going on with the family.
Bingo.
Representative,
Thank you. Dr. Lee, thank you for coming. If you wouldn't mind sending me your testimony, there's a lot there that I need to digest. There's quite a bit there. But one of the things that has gone back and forth is this parent alienation. And there's been, they've bankrupted families. What I've heard, yes, they're trying to change the mindset of the children. It always when I first heard of it, I thought of re-education camps like North Korea, the way I was listening to that. But I've had people say, well, no, actually, you need to take that into consideration. No, you don't. For your professional opinion, is parent alienation truly a syndrome or a clinical diagnosis at all?
Not at all. It's not taught in any mental health educational program. It only exists in family courts, and the cases that are labeled parental alienation, if they were to come out of family court, they would just be clear-cut child abuse, domestic violence, without any ambiguity, and they would be adjudicated in a matter of weeks in criminal court.
Mr. Chair, to that point, do you feel, have you ever witnessed in any of the states that you've testified in that there are judges that disregard the whole parental alienation? You know, because I feel like they're taking real physical abuse versus the abusive parent saying parental alienation. Are you seeing, I guess I'm looking for hope today. Have you seen any judges within the family court that see that for what it is? Or is it just so much the standard that, do you kind of see what I'm saying with parental?
I've actually seen a lot of judges move away from that phrase because of the stigma around it. Not so much because they denounce it, as all the major health associations have done, but because it was first parental alienation syndrome in the 1980s that got so much criticism and lack of scientific support that it started to be turned into other types of terminologies, whatever they call it. It's a pretext, as I said, for predatory alienation of the good parent.
Yeah, it seems like the squishy balloon. No matter where you grab it, it's always kind of morphing into something else?
Yes,
Like a
one thing
balloon tie.
I wish to say that in terms of solutions is education of the public is extremely important, and also open courts. But I would not so much emphasize education of judges, because if the incentive to give the children to the wrong parent is still there, then no amount of education, no amount of correction of theories will help.
So 2 observations. One, the court is incapable of being a super parent. It has seized that responsibility. The second is, and I know we need to move on to the rest of our witnesses, but it occurs to me that there is quite literally no test right up front to establish, and we've got this in Arizona law 25403, 12 factors that are supposed to be considered in the award of parenting time and the award of custody. Yet the court took it upon itself under Gutierrez to say, well, the temporary orders don't count because they're just temporary. Yet they can go on for a child's lifetime until they age out of the system.
Exactly. I think that is the goal, that the children are taken for no reason at all. In my sister's case, she was given no reason. They were taken by force by a police SWAT team. And I believe that was to maximally traumatize and maximally incapacitate her and the children's ability to fight back.
Pause real quick.
There's no.
Did you say that the child?
So that's the destruction I was talking about. And they don't leave the system, guys. That's the indoctrination into the system to help them, to make them believe that the false patriarch does have authority, that mom and dad don't have authority, because mom and dad were whipped around in the courts. Both, first the one that you were supposed to be with as a protective parent, and then put with the abuser, and then they took the abuser out of your life, and now you're part of the system. Thank you.
Was taken by a SWAT team?
Yes.
From a mother
Who was simply
unarmed,
carrying out her parenting time with them.
unarmed in her home.
Warning, no concerns about her parenting ability whatsoever. It's only the father who was on a restraining order earlier for slamming his children's, at this point, the 7-year-old son's head against a window, almost crushing his skull. And yet he was just in the process of regaining parenting time. And that was when the custody was switched.
This is quite an indictment of the system, madam.
And
All
no
right.
plenary hearing for going on 4 years.
All right. Thank you very much for your testimony. We'll be in touch. All right.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
ma'am.
Sanity, man. That's insane.
That is absolutely fucking wild. That is.
It's like you can't even put words into it. Like just how corrupt and that organization is, and the judges. It's like it's just a massive collusion, and just like it's almost like systematized to cause us to not, see it, and it's not advertised. This should be on every national TV televised news and stuff.
I don't watch that crap anymore. I don't. Who cares what's on?
Well, it should be put out in the venues that people are watching. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And this would help dispel some of their beliefs if they saw it in those venues. But they will never show it in those venues because, again, the media is owned by the government as well.
Yeah.
So this is why it's so important to express your First Amendment right. And I urge everybody, even if you're not Christian, I am not Christian, but this society is built on Christianity. And I urge everybody to read Isaiah 54 in whole. And it starts out talking about those desolate children and the unmarried wife and the married wife. And then it goes on to talk about God. If you don't understand those verses, he is apologizing and giving a promise that he won't do it again. And then verse 17 talks about no no weapon shall prosper against thee, and thou shalt rise up against any false judgment. You're supposed to divide those tongues. No tongue. That means you're supposed to know those tongues. That's the thing about Hosea 4. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. If you think the true benefit is not the knowledge and rather the materialistic goods that you're gaining in life, then you've missed it, and you're indoctrinated just like those children in those foster care and adoption centers. You just went about it a different way.
I would say I am, but on the first point, the media is the government. That's obviously false. There are government media like PBS and C-SPAN, but only libtard nerds watch that. But most media is not the government. Yeah, but most media is privately ran, at least in the West.
Well, ladies and
your
gentlemen,
private media. Your private media. We're talking about the public media in an international forum, CNN, Fox News, things like that. They will not post this.
They're not. They're also not the government.
No, they're not the government, but they are owned by the government. They are a corporate entity regulated and owned by the government.
So every entity that's registered with the Secretary of State is part of the government in your model?
Absolutely. That's what register means. It means to pledge. So you have pledged that interest, the rights and interest in that entity to the state. Now they hold the rights and interest, not you.
They don't own the rights and interest. It's a log in the database.
Right, but
you didn't read the bylaws and stuff. They don't have an interest like it's China. It's just a freaking log on the database, so they know that the thing exists.
Correct. But in that, the presumption is that they maintain all rights and interests and control it.
False.
No, it's not.
I registered a company before. They don't have an interest.
I'm not going to sit here and argue with you, Frank. It's right in their own writing. It's in plain English. United States controlled entity.
Yes, it does say that, but what it means is that the entity's registered in the United States and therefore it operates in the United States. Not that it's not that governments that help you run your business. They don't give a crap.
Yes, it is. They are controlled by the United States. They will tell you how to keep your records and everything. And if you don't keep your records, the IRS comes in and takes it.
It comes and takes it.
That's why you shouldn't register anything with the state. Nothing. Not even the birth. The birth is a false certification. It cannot be true. The registration of the minimum birth registration standards for the United States is it must be registered in the United States. There is no birth registry in the United States. Ask them.
Nope. The next thing you say is I shouldn't have user accounts in my freaking computer systems. That's what.
No. Again, you're implying shit that you don't know. And I'm telling you, it's only when you read this stuff and understand what they are doing that you will have a comprehension that you shouldn't register anything with the state, because when you do, the presumption that you are laying, you are the one laying it, is that you went to them and gave it to them. You are the grantor. You have no rights. Once you grant something, you have no rights.
You didn't have rights or rights are imaginary anyways. They never had any rights.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
So do you have the right to eat the side?
It is the foundation of the law, is your rights and interests in the enjoyment of the possession and use of a thing for your benefit. That is what property is. It is not the tangible thing. It is your rights and interest in the enjoyment of the possession and use of a thing for your benefit. If you're pledging it to the state for their benefit, you've given up the benefit. I'm done.
Yeah, it's like saying I can't use a piece of software because I didn't get a license for it. That's what this. I'm not sure. Come on, man.
Well, this seems like a good stopping point anyway for today's stream. Unless somebody's got in contact with Lindsay, if somebody wants an extension, I'll give the last 12 minutes for them to come through. But I don't really see the point in an extension because, like I said, I'm still offering Lindsay the ability to do her interview. She said she wanted it last night, but she is not here. So, yeah.
I like that people who register accounts tell me not to register for things. The irony is magnificent. I love it. I like eating that irony up. It's nice and flavorful.
But thank you all for joining me. It has been a wonderful stream. We will go from top to bottom, right to left. So, Insurgent Shifts, you got any final thoughts?
Just great stream. It's my first time being here, and just a great show. Just keep up the good work, man.
Hopefully I can, and hopefully I earn the praise that everyone has been giving me for the past 2 days. And thank you for coming. You're welcome anytime. El Perro, do you have any last thoughts?
Well, at first, I want to thank you for reviewing that video. I'm glad you guys have been open to the expansiveness and the reality of what's actually going on. And I'm looking forward to have more conversations in the future. And as the Discord, I need permission to chat.
Yeah, I should have already taken care of that. I thought I did.
All right. Well, maybe it's just taking its time.
Yeah, you have a role now. You should be able to see everything.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, and you guys know me. I love you, but I don't give a rat's ass whether you love me back. That's to say, I don't care if you hate me. I don't care if you don't respect me. That's on you. So may whoever your God be bless you.
Hell yeah, I like that, El Perro. Thank you for coming up. Hank, do you have any last words?
Oh, absolutely.
Or last thoughts?
If you registered a YouTube account, welcome to the media. You're officially part of the media. And if you think everyone in the media is part of the state, well, that's you. And I know some resources love
Again, I
YouTube
didn't
accounts. You register more accounts than I can count. So
I didn't say I was part of the public news media. This is private news media, and there's a distinct difference. I have 30 channels, ain't been struck down. I don't think you're gonna strike me down, and that's why, because I've already set things in order. If it's an account with YouTube and I am not commercially enjoined, then it is not a registered account according to the Federal Register. They are the ones with the Federal Registered account, and I am just joining as a colloquial member. That's it.
But Alphabet's federally registered, though.
Yes, Alphabet Inc. owns Google, who owns YouTube. But they don't own me.
I think the case is closed.
If you want to call the case closed because you say public and I say private, then you're not understanding the distinct difference. Public is owned and controlled by the U.S. government. Private, there is no ownership. It's just merely property. Anyway, I'm not going to continue any further. Be blessed.
Fair enough. Thank you, El Perro, for coming. Thank you for coming, Hank. Thank you for coming, Shift. I think that is it, unless somebody's been in contact with Lindsay. Anybody who has contact with Lindsay, please feel free to message her and tell her that she is having her chance for an interview. If she wants it, it's still here. I will still give her that interview chance. Yeah, I got you up here. I'll put that UN link in one more time before we end it. Here it is. But she can have her chance for an interview and to get her side of the story out. And that's part of what my channel is about. Every person will be allowed to get anytime there's any drama or anything, and they feel like they haven't been able to get their side out. At least in my space, they will be allowed to tell their side of the story, because I know what it's like to be railroaded and fucked with. So I will allow that, and I'm not saying that that Lindsay is being railroaded and fucked with. Just like for those of you who don't know, I gave King Shinard his ability to say his piece in the very beginning of my show, of my streaming career, and I do that for anybody and everyone. I know what it's like to not be able to get your voice out. And I think Dennison ultimately may be right that giving certain people the ability to talk on my platform may be a negative, but it's something I started doing, and it's something that I will keep doing. So at least for now, Lindsay, you have the ability to come over here whenever you want, tell your side of the story, at least in the next couple of days. Once I move on, I don't give a fuck. You did call me manipulative and try to set some stuff, so I don't know. And anyone who wants to reach out to Lindsay and tell her that she has the opportunity can do so on my behalf, because I refuse to take her number or communicate with her on Discord, because I don't want the potential problems. But thank you all for viewing. Those of you who donated, I appreciate it. Unfortunately, I don't want your money today on the extension. I am tired, and I do want to play with my puppy. And I'm trying to reach out to Snow and Dennison about the esoteric stream. I do want to do that tonight with the star chart and everything. If there are not a lot of people going live, I would like that a lot. That seems like it'd be very fun and a distraction from the bullshit that happened earlier today. So, you guys have a wonderful time. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. I love you all. I appreciate you all. You all have a wonderful and good night. Thank you.
And Tropicana gets its roof torn off, Tropicana Stadium that the Tampa Bay Rays play in. And if you look into it, Tropicana orange juice was created in 1947 at the same time the U.S. military did their first ever experiment on a hurricane. You guys look it up, 1947, first experiment on a hurricane. Bradenton, Florida is where Tropicana orange juice was created, in Bradenton. So you just happen to have Anderson.
I can have non-sexual orgasms within my body, pleasures that I didn't know were possible. Fuck yeah.
There's another short hat.
You deserve that, wrestler.
It's true. You do deserve it.
It's damn near like a rite of passage in this. Oh my god, it's working.
Mandy says that Dolly drifts harder than me. This is fucking unacceptable. Get pulled out, bitch. You don't drift enough. I really haven't been grifting hard enough. You guys, I just found out I have cancer.
No, bank cancer?
Got cancer in your pee-pee?